in the event that recording is the only recording that winds up around.
So
there we go. It's broadcasting.
Oh, good.
So still can't hear that. I don't know why that's not working. But too late to fix it now. We'll fix it in post. We're doing it live.
We'll fix it in post.
I'm hooked. If you're saying something, I'm sure it's witty. You there?
That's a good assumption for this podcast. Just make that assumption, everyone.
Let me go shut this door real quick. Love you guys. Good night. All right, come back. Come back.
I feel better already.
All right. So things have happened.
They have, and I know at least two of our number have seen Endgame.
What?
Well, Rob, because he's press, and Dom, because he's in Germany, and I think as part of the EU, they get to see stuff early or something.
Well, okay. Well, never mind. See, here's... Well, that's still impressive. Well,
yeah.
It's still cool.
Yeah.
It just dawned on me that it literally is coming out this week.
Yep. I got my ticket for Thursday, 8:30 p.m.
Oh, you're going that night. Okay. I as a family, and as luck would have it, my daughter will be back from her first year of college by then. We go on Sunday mornings to see the big movies and whatnot. Well, movies just in general. If we go as a family, we go Saturday morning or Sunday morning rather. That's our church. So
that's a pretty good church.
The Church of Thanos. Oh, you know what? Yeah, actually, speaking of that, we went. My son and I went and saw Riff Tracks live for Octoman.
Oh, how was it?
It was a good time. It was a good time. As often they do it. Have you been to a live Riff Tracks? Or a Riff Tracks?
Wait, now is it live, or are you talking about like live as in shared through a cinema live?
Well, yeah, technically, that's what it was. It was a Phantasm.
I mean, I think I've done both actually, but
yeah, it was a Fathom event. I was at Phantasm.
Ah, gotcha.
It was a Phantasm event, which is a completely different kind of event.
Boy.
Yeah, no. So it was, it was live in the sense that it was being broadcast to that theater.
Gotcha. I'm with you.
But I assume you've seen them do because they've done in the other ones that we've seen usually do a short in the front.
Yep.
Like a thing. This one was with McGruff the dog. It was actually very. It was hilarious because it was with a big furry version of McGruff going around telling kids to say no to drugs.
So a live action
anthropomorphic
McGruff the dog
was teaching kids to say no to drugs. Yes.
I think I would have been like, well, McGruff, if I stop taking drugs, then I'll stop seeing you, and how will we talk?
Yes. You won't be real anymore.
At least I assume that's how it works.
Oh, and by the way, it also taught kids to snitch too. They never point out that those snitches, in fact, do get stitches. So,
well, that's a huge glaring omission.
Yeah. McGruff. You'd think that McGruff would have learned his lesson when his neutering time.
What are you talking about? Oh,
those are some stitches.
McGruff being neutered.
Yeah,
your thoughts on neutering McGruff.
Mine?
Yeah.
Yes, yours.
I thought he already was. I mean, the thing is that he's a children's, story dog, right? What was his thing? McGruff, he was the crime dog, right?
Right. He's taking bites out of various types of crime.
Well, didn't he have a trench coat?
Yes, he
did.
So, what makes you think he was neutered?
Well, because he was also McGruff the Flasher dog.
Now, if you were talking about the big red dog,
Well, that's
Not
Clifford.
talking about Big Red Rocket.
he may have been, neutered because no artist wants to keep drawing stuff.
A giant scarlet schlong.
Yeah. So
Also, wait, he was
I don't know. I would say McGruff was not because of the trench coat. They were smart, whoever that designer was, that artist. It's like, he's taking a bite out of crime. He still has testosterone or something. But then again, it could have been a girl dog.
It didn't
McGruff?
talk like a girl dog. Unless girl dogs have, like lower voices, I guess.
Hello.
Hello, my name's Stella.
It's the
Well, they are the dogs, they all sound the same. You have a girl dog.
This is
I-
true.
John,
I
you
do have
have
a girl dog. Yes, that is accurate.
They bark like a boy dog.
Girl dogs
much,
be boy dogs too. You are so insensitive, Wage. I can't believe you don't think that girl dogs could be boy dogs.
Girl dogs can be anything they want to be.
Yes, exactly. Girl dogs can run for president.
They could eat trash as much as a boy dog can.
And based on my experience with girl dogs, probably more.
Yeah, it's true. This is true. Yeah. So that's how you started the show.
Yes.
Yeah, talking
we started
about
Endgame and somehow wound up in McGruff the crime neuter dog.
Are they retiring? Is he going to college?
Who, McGruff?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be the weirdest.
Well, you know what that means. Apparently, Widge doesn't. You're moving on this. When you tell somebody that a dog went to college,
Oh, is that a euphemism for?
it is a euphemism. Yeah.
Boning the neighbor's food. That's what
I
that
did
says.
not know that.
No, it's
No?
not that. They go away. They go away to college.
My
Wait,
I've had several dogs go to college, and from what I can tell, they've all gotten degrees and everything. So they're just, living with their own lives. Is there something else that my parents weren't telling me?
Yeah.
What was that?
They were getting degrees in a higher degree of lack of genitalia.
My German Shepherd runs a very successful .com.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Is he the one that tried to do pets.com? That didn't work out.
Oh, see again, Widge, you assumed it was a he. He was a she.
Boy,
Only he dogs can run .coms.
Yes, so.
Well, no, considering that pets.com was a huge failure, I was just assuming that a girl dog would be too smart for that shit.
So how come the pets.com didn't did they reinvent themselves? How
you remember they had the sock puppet? Wasn't that the sock puppet?
They did, yeah. But it was like PetSmart and stuff, right? It was supposed to have been like the Amazon of pet stuff, or no?
Yeah, now actually pets.com now goes to PetSmart directly to the they bought the URL.
They picked it up on the cheap.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my God, I remember they spent a lot of money on that Super Bowl. They had a Super Bowl commercial.
Well, that was the whole way you showed that you had made it as a .com, which you had
You did.
Or
Super Bowl commercial
that you've gotten funding as a .com.
Yeah, I don't know how
that is basically making it.
You don't have to actually make any money after that point.
No, you just convince a bunch of VCs or angel contributors like, hey, we're going to do a commercial that will be pulled off the air because we were insensitive and stuff. Yeah. Like that whole subprime market commercials. Wow, those are bad.
Yeah. I don't even remember those. Probably for the best.
Yeah, they were really bad. It was just like there was like this one that showed a robbery in a convenience store or something, and the convenience store owner just beat the crap out of the would-be assailant. And it was all about subprime, that you can, if you were a subprime mortgage holder, you could get a loan. It was bad. And that was the demise of our.
If you're subprime, does that mean that you get faster than 2-day shipping?
Oh, they wished. They wished. They wished. Those.
Oh well.
Then foreclosures moved in. So
rapidly.
there's our financial report, children. Over to you, Stanley.
Here's Tom with the weather.
Wait, Tom left. Tom went to college.
He came back a changed man.
Yes, he did. Actually, people that go to animals that go to college, they don't come back. That's what that is.
See, I thought that was going to live on a farm. What is going to live on a farm then?
I don't. Oh, if you're in the country, you go to the farm.
That never mattered. It was they've gone to live on a farm. What?
I've heard going to college. Either that or you cross the Rainbow Bridge.
See.
What?
I will say this: at least if you're going to live on a farm, that makes a lot more sense. You can actually fool yourself into thinking that the animal is going to be fine, versus going to college. I mean, unless you're a really small kid, I guess. I don't know.
Well, if you own like a Bichon Frise, I don't think they're really farm dogs. Right, John? You're chuckling. You know that breed. I don't think Bichons are not herding dogs.
I get the feeling they run off and join the circus.
Ooh.
My dog ran off to join the circus. That's what happened.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's a Sony ImageWorks film waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Why not? Because Disney couldn't do it. Why wouldn't they?
So, okay, here's a thought. Here's a thought. So, do you think, now that there is a black hole, a photo image of a black hole, do you think
by a woman? Taken by a woman.
I'm just like speechless. John, it was taken by like, I don't know, 20 cameras.
I know, but never mind. Go on. Finish your story.
No.
Then I will tell you the story of the sexist rants that people went on because there's a picture.
Oh, God. Yes.
Okay. All right. I was just going to say, so who was it? That guy on HBO was like, look, who knew that Hollywood got it right on what a black hole looks like? And they sort of popped up, Disney's black hole. So now that there's a black hole and it's official, will they reboot that? Boom.
Well, they're eventually going to reboot it anyway. I mean, just because the law of relative development demands that they will.
Well, they went with Song of the South, sir.
Well.
Oh, did you see that's not going to be on Disney Plus?
It's not?
Nope.
Well, duh, yeah.
Well, they promised everything in their vault. Everything was going to be on Disney Plus.
They moved it off to the side. That's not in the vault.
They went, maybe not Song of the South, and maybe not the crows from Dumbo.
Actually, Song of the South went to college.
Yeah.
But it's more of a country country movie.
Yeah. So I would, I saw Black Hole, and I actually liked it. I liked Maximilian the robot.
Oh, Maximilian is one of the coolest robots ever.
Yeah, that weird Slim Pickens, though. That was a weird robot, though. The Mr. Haney robot or whatever. Nice. But I liked it. I liked the whole premise of that. That whole, they're not really robots, but they're humans in a zombie state. I mean, that was kind of out there for Disney. So I don't think anybody really knew what to make of it, right?
Oh yeah, it was incredibly weird.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got
has it gotten
slightly
any
inexplicable-
validation?
I mean, define what kind of validation are you looking for it?
That people actually watch
But
it?
people like it.
I watched
Yeah.
it.
And people think
Yeah.
it's special.
I watched it.
Yeah.
I actually would. I need to watch it again because it's been forever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I was just thinking if when I saw it, I believe it was in a drive-in because my only memory of it is out the back of the station wagon. So
Were you making out during it?
no, I was with the family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my brother was there. My mom and dad were there.
Oh, okay.
Back when,
all right.
drive-ins, by the way. Okay, so kids, there was a time when you used to have to bring a car into the theater.
To bring your own sound system,
You
basically.
had to bring your own sound system, or they would provide you with one that, was mono at best. And then a lot of high school kids got mono, so it all works out.
Hey,
Um,
and make sure you take the speaker off before you leave.
yes. In fact, if I recall correctly, didn't they also make that announcement through the speakers?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
After
But anyway, so
the-
yeah, my only memory of it is I think looking out the back window of a station wagon.
Okay.
I don't really recall much of it.
Well, they did this whole thing where they, it's like they have all the ships, the Cygnuses and whatever, they're all destroyed. So they're in like this shuttlecraft and they're like, nah, let's go through. And it turns into this really weird 2001 type of
Drug trip.
Drug trip. Like Willy Wonka.
Yeah, Willy Wonka, on Benzedrine, maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the boat trip.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, speaking of Willy Wonka, because since it came up, there was something on your list here about Willy Wonka.
It's mine. I added it. Added it.
Oh, okay.
What's
yeah,
that?
So
What is it?
I add. So okay. So we're all fans of Snowpiercer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I stumbled upon the YouTube episode of this. I forgot what is it, the Rhino or something. Anyway, this
The
guy.
Spider-Man villain?
No.
Oh.
No, this
Oh.
guy calls himself. I forgot what it is. Where's
Hero.
the agenda? The non-agenda agenda. Where is that? Looking for this on my email. John, where is it?
What do you want me to here? Okay, HTTP
Hang on.
colon
Okay.
slash
No, never mind. I got it. Never mind.
DOCS dot.
Oh, is Snowpiercer Willy Wonka's sequel?
Yeah.
There's no link. It's just that line.
Yeah, there was a link. It's below it.
Uh,
Oh, it was. Oh my God!
Mhm.
Crap! I had it. Anyway.
Perhaps you've been to Willy Wonka. Although there's
I think
YouTube link, a couple of episodes.
It's under. I think it's below the thing that's Game of Thrones thing. So this guy makes this argument, a convincing argument, I may add, that watching Willy Wonka and watching Snowpiercer, he believes that Snowpiercer is a sequel to Willy Wonka. Now, Willy Wonka, as you know, he creates a world that we have to believe in, odd as it is. It's kind of quasi-based in our world, and yet there are these things called Oompa Loompas. So he theorizes that Wilfred is actually Charlie, older.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually comes up with a timeline that it's plausible because the world going into snow was 2014. And Willy Wonka came out, 1970 something?
Right.
So that would put Charlie into the age, whatever that is, because it's years of, Ed Harris's character of Wilfred.
Yes, right.
And he goes on to explain, you got to watch this. It's really crazy. He explains that the odd characters may even be the kids grown up, like Tilda Swinton's character is Veruca Salt. And and he shows clip by clip, he goes, if you ever notice, Veruca Salt always walks in first to any room. Tilda Swinton does the same thing.
Well, but that's because she's Tilda Swinton, to be
Well,
fair.
that's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, okay, but there's other stuff that is really interesting. That it was the foresight of, Willy Wonka, who was, experimental in travel, okay, and food production. So, that whole weird jelly bug food, that was
right.
Pretty much an engineering feat from Willy Wonka. It's a stretch, but there are some really compelling arguments. That killer guy, the guy that goes around, the killer, he theorizes that's Mike TV. And the first kill is on TV, on a monitor. Creepy. You got to watch that video. It's good. It's
insane.
It is, because, well, the director, I mean, if you ever watched, did you ever see The Host?
No, I still need to watch it.
It is
I know.
good. So really, he created a really crazy film, and that we were immersed into. And even up into the end, for Chris Evans to do the sacrifice thing that Charlie did to get the chocolate factory. Crazy. Conspiracy. No, it's
spoiler.
Yes. You got to watch it and you'll be like, what? So, yeah. So put that up on the link, kids. You got to watch that. I don't even know when he did this, but apparently the guy has been like obsessing over Snowpiercer, because I like the film. I really do. I just didn't realize, it's like, wow, that there could be similarities or a sequel type of thing. So,
well, I want to see what is, I can't remember what the date was for the series that they're doing.
Snowpiercer, the series?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
Because the story is based on like a trilogy of graphic novels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
okay.
With a movie director, sometimes that doesn't mean anything.
Oh, I know. I'm just looking.
You got to watch that video.
Who's doing the series?
TNT.
No way. Really?
Right.
It's this year.
Wow. I don't get cable anymore. Will it be on Hulu?
I'm sure it'll be somewhere. The only person I recognize off the top of my head is Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Stuff usually is on Hulu, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. Okay. Stephen Ogg, who has been in freaking everything. He was one of the main saviors in Walking Dead. And he's in Westworld.
Who is he in Westworld?
Oh, God. I'm trying to remember. Hang on a second.
I don't recall people's names.
I don't either. Here, I'll put.
Neither do I, Steve.
Here, I'll put this in the chat. Those of you who are listening at home, just Google Stephen Ogg.
Google Stephen.
Don't pull over though when you do it. Be sure to do it while driving 90 miles per hour down the interstate.
Do not pull over. Pull over in 2000.
Actually, we may be responsible. So please do pull over.
Driving.
I was joking. That was sarcasm earlier.
It doesn't come off that way, John. Because you're
That's
a
what-
dad. You're a dad.
I think,
You have no sarcasm. Your children have it.
John, you need to mark that one. Rock's saying, John, it doesn't come off that way. Okay, here's it. Is this the... No, is this... Okay, there it is, yeah. I think this will work. Do-do-do. Stephen Hogg!
All right. Wow, about time. Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he is definitely one of those character actor, oh, that guy type of things.
Yeah. He could be he could be the Mike TV character.
This just image from the front lines.
Yes.
Over to you.
We've suffered a war defeat. Just want to let you know.
Oh. Alas.
Yes.
We almost had it.
No bonus for us.
Damn.
Why? What are you doing?
Marvel Strike Force.
No, I'm paying 100% attention to what's going on here. Not trying to get all my stuff done for the day. I don't know what you're talking about.
They've added a new thing called
Give us more of your dopamine.
Alliance War in Marvel Strike Force. And basically your alliance, which ours is Shinola, you populate a helicarrier and then you fight another helicarrier that has another alliance on it.
Because that's what S.H.I.E.L.D. does best.
It's destroy helicarriers.
Well, themselves, yes.
Yes. So
So
I'm digging
Endgame
it.
comes out this week.
Yes, it does. And it is 3 hours and 2 minutes long.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to... somebody has to post when the best time to take a pee break is. There should be a communal pause button.
There needs to be an intermission, like with the 70mm version of the Hateful Eight.
It seems insane that there isn't, to be honest with you.
What's that?
It seems insane that there isn't an intermission.
Yeah, they may have just looked at it when not only do we not know when to tell you to pee, we don't know when we could stop this thing.
Let's all go to the lobby. You see, that's what happens. You drop that little song. Nobody knows what to do. 'Cause that's what they used to have.
I know what to do. It's just a question of when to do it.
Well, yeah, you wait for the song. Let's all go to the lobby.
But wait, Rocks, back in your day which was a Wednesday, by the way. Were they peeing in the lobby? Did they not have like indoor toilet?
No, you went to the lobby and get ourselves a drink or something. So
what are you drinking, R. Kelly? What's going on over there?
I don't know. I
am drinking a Breakfast Hero Imperial Donut Stout.
Okay. So what's it taste like? What kind of donut? Jelly?
It's got a bit of maple in it, and it's got a bit of glazing in it. So it's kind of like a maple glazed donut stout.
Okay. What's the alcohol content?
You know what? That's a good question. And can I just... Okay.
No,
Rox, you're a designer. Okay, 9.5.
Wow.
Rox, you're a designer.
Yeah. Wow.
So here's the question for you.
Did you say 9.5?
Wow.
No, sorry, 8.5.
Well, still.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, it's relatively high gravity, yeah.
Ordering,
that's a breakfast. That you drink that in the morning.
I mean, I'm not. So, anyway, so
yes, I'm a designer.
So Rox,
yes,
you're a designer.
Yes.
So, what is the deal with beer labels these days? That when I look at a shelf, I don't understand why I have to like scrutinize each bottle to figure out who the fuck it's by and what the fuck it is, and maybe if I'm lucky, what its name is. What is this the equivalent of bands that will make their names impossible to Google? Is that what this is?
Practically,
Yes, Mr. Live.
It is. And it's like, who is that one British artist that did the wall art? You know, for The Wall, the movie The Wall.
Gerald Scarfe.
Yeah, that guy. Blame him. Everyone's like, oh, we want something that looks like The Wall, so we can't really read it, and it looks like blood splatter and 95.
But see, the problem is what I found is it's usually I found some beers where it's like art. There's no words. The words are tiny and somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And I found some where it's on there.
Yeah.
It's just you have to. I mean, my vision's not that bad. I have to just pick up each fucking bottle and look at it and go, "What is this?"
Yeah, I know.
So,
I think they're. It's like, well, first off, like with a lot of craft beer, they're still family run. Now, the lucky thing for like Bold City, and they're around the corner from where I live, practically. They were smart. They actually contacted Robin Shepherd Design Studios, and they found out like, hey, we want to help you. And they were kind of taken aback because they were willing to do their own art. Okay. And Robin Shepherd convinced them, look, we'll make all of your art, all of the beer art, you know, you'll have variations, but it will be cohesive. Okay. And that is the really cool thing about Bold City Brewery. Okay. Their designs. Without pointing names or any other ones, sometimes design is the last thing on their mind, and it's like, hey, we got my cousin to do the art and stuff, and they just throw it on and nobody knows. Two, like the craft breweries around here, it's still on tap, so they're just making it into labeling. So it's not like they put that first.
Right.
It's like, well, we got the big canisters and we're sending them over to, you know, whoever is, you know, we put them in our tap rooms or we put them in the local, you know, restaurants on tap. So bottling is like the sort of issue, and a lot of the times is the design is the last thing they think of. So when you're looking for the alcohol content, I think for the warning that has to be on there, and it has to be a certain size.
Right.
So it's like, oh, okay, well, we could squidge maybe 7 point or 6 point, still read it. It has to say, and I don't know what the requirements are. I'd have to look that up, but there are requirements to the size of all the text. So with some of them, like what's the delirium? Okay, with the elephant and stuff.
Yeah, delirium tremens, yeah.
Right. So the artwork is usually the pink elephant. Am I correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's their big thing. The Rasputin Imperial Stout, you know, they just sort of cobble the artwork and whoever designed that did a good job, because it's like, well, we'll make it look like something from, you know, St. Petersburg. But some of your other stuff, it's like, well, it's your last minute stuff. I mean, I had a cider, and it was from New York State last week, and it was called Naked Flock. It was very good. Very good. So if they're listening, it's very good stuff. And it was really weird. I think they sort of, they canned it. And I almost want to say they just put like a sticker label on it. So it wasn't even a printed label or a printed can.
Which is that's what this is.
That is such a hard. Okay, here's the thing too about, and I only know this because I knew a guy. I used to play tennis with a guy who worked for Anheuser-Busch, and he worked in the canning, the printing part. And so, say you have a beer and stuff that you actually have to schedule when you can get your aluminum cans and stuff printed.
That makes sense.
So that might be weeks, months out or whatever. And it depends on who's doing it. Does your local facility or town have that ability to print cans? It's not many do. So if there's like a sticker label, that's what there's somebody in the back room putting the label on it. And that's tough. That's tough. That's a horrible job. So, and they got their cousin to do the artwork. Or somebody, it's like, oh, I'll pay a designer. I don't know. Can you do this for $100? Oh, and by the way, we'll have all the rights to it. So that's how that happens.
Hey, Rob's here.
Hey, Rob.
Hello.
Hey, Rob,
I
you
hope
survived.
that answered your question.
It does. It does.
On graphic design today.
It seemed thorough, whatever it was.
Well, it's rocks.
Yeah. So, Rob, do you have springtime yet? Up
Yeah,
there?
it's pollen season though, mostly right
Ooh.
now. Yeah. No, it's actually been really, really pleasant. It was in the 80s
Wow.
yesterday and today. Yeah, we've actually had like kind of a spring. So yeah, it's been comfortable.
All right, you went to see the film. How was it?
I cannot say anything. I can
Really?
text you. Yes.
Wait, are you sure? Because I'm seeing all the reviews going up on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes and no. It depends. I mean, how do I put
Hey,
this?
all I did was say, "Did you see the film?"
Yes.
You don't even have to
Yeah.
say anything.
No. Well, I just don't want to spoil.
And this
It
will
is-
go out like
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
9 months
So
from
it
now.
is 10 years. It's pretty much everything you think it's going to be, but it's also not, which sounds
Ooh.
confusing because it's a drama, which is interesting.
Wow.
And the other thing is it is very much by all accounts it's an ending, which is also good.
Mm.
Yeah.
They wasn't Kevin Feige, however you say his name. He was saying,
Kevin Feige.
yeah, he was saying that he sees Far From Home as actually the conclusion to
Phase 3.
Phase 3. Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that.
but yeah, the reviews that are currently on Rotten Tomatoes, at least, it's running at 97%, which means that there's some jerk out there.
Wow.
But
What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know how to read those.
oh, when it's not, it means 97% just positive. But when it's 97 out of 670 reviews currently, it means that there's one guy that hated it when everyone else loved it or liked it at least.
Well, basically, you have critics who will slag off a film just so they can be in the vast minority and get people clicking through to find out what the hell their beef is.
That is probably accurate.
Yeah.
What's weird is the reviews were up a second ago, but now, oh, there they are. Okay, never mind. I got go back to them. Yeah, but pretty much like CNN's got theirs up.
I think Rolling Stone had something up already too.
New York Times, Entertainment Weekly, looks like they all have theirs up. But
Yeah.
they all seem to say that it's
3 hours.
It's a fitting conclusion. Yeah, it's 3 hours. Oh! So since we got you on the phone,
Where your depends.
well, that's what we're gonna say. Where can we go to the bathroom? When? At what point? How many minutes in?
Certainly not 25 or 30 in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after that point, it's too late.
That's where Hugh
Maybe
Jackman
30.
of Wolverine
Well,
shows
I
up.
just didn't have a timepiece with me.
They
Probably
took
30
your
in
watch?
and then maybe two 210 in.
210 in, John. There you go. 210 in.
But yeah, the first 8 seconds is pretty big.
Wow.
With
All
8
right.
seconds?
So Rob, I put something up on the chat. Yes or no?
Oh God, I don't even want to see it.
Oh, because they had it I already had it and it was done. That's probably
What?
why.
Yeah, it's his last one. I mean, that's not a secret.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I,
mean,
thought
yeah, I
they
think-
made like a ton of them. Somebody said
No.
years ago.
I think what they're doing with the Stan Lee stuff is that they've got one that they think was the perfect one to end it with, and that's what they did.
Mm.
And I've heard that the final one was going to be in Far From Home, but now I'm hearing it's not. So
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh.
It's I guess what they might do though is they could put them on a billboard or something in future movies, or they could have some TV show, some TV on somewhere in the background, and there's a picture. They could do something like that.
Mm.
But yeah, they he was constantly in
That's
the
just a
background
guess.
of he was constantly in the background of Spider-Verse.
So
Oh my God, I finally saw that. That was good. That was a great cameo too.
and
what-
you'll cry.
What did you think of the what did you think of the art styles and the handling of all that?
So it was funny. My nephew, who has beyond 20/20 vision,
Okay.
he had issues with it. I
Really?
did not. Yeah,
He-
because
He can see
because
it's
the thing is well, no, because of the rapid change in the styles, because you had moire patterns of what comic books were, how comic books are printed, where just like that Roy Lichtenstein kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then it jumps to like the 80s style, and then you have the high end stuff. There was a lot of change on that, which was I thought was brilliant. Really, I thought that was really cool. But for somebody that, I don't know, if you have epileptic seizures, I'd have a warning. So, but I liked it. Liked it a lot.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it's whoever was the art creative director for that, they knew their stuff. They knew all the throughout history of how comics were done and printed, because even with that Stan Lee cameo, to me, the way he looked harkened back to, the 70s, and that ending, the after credits of inserting the old Spider-Man cartoon.
That was brilliant.
That was brilliant. Yes. So
yes, that was.
I really enjoyed it. It was very refreshing. It told a great story. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Yeah. Good
I would
job.
be absolutely fine with
The other cool thing too is that everybody has something to do.
Yes.
Which is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it really does open up for, people to see that, yes, there is another, spider universe that anybody, the young adult type market.
Well, and I think if Sony handles, if they're Miles,
is, in addition to opening up a whole new market, it sort of sets up this thing where people that normally feel they're not represented at all in any type of comics or anything are going to feel like, oh, this is cool. But it also does it in a very in a way where it doesn't seem heavy-handed, which is really hard to do when you think about it. It's just okay, it's done, and I mean, people are just way more accepting of it. It's almost like osmosis. It's just boom, it's not a problem, which is interesting because I don't think if it wasn't animated, it might. I don't know. It's just weird.
Rob, can you hear me? Okay. Rob,
can you hear Widge?
No, I cannot hear Widge at all.
I'm talking now. Hi, Rob.
Well,
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Rob, can you hear me?
I can hear you and John.
Okay.
All right. So it's just Widge.
Yeah, it's
Now we're
just
back to
Rob
this again.
over talking. Yes.
No, I
No,
think
he-
this happened with him last week, or well,
Oh, did it?
Last time.
a month ago.
Last time.
Whatever.
I hope I didn't break it.
We're hearing you fine. It's giving you recorded fine. You're only selectively hearing individual people.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was like, wow, we've just been away a long time.
I'm right here.
He is right here.
He says he's right here.
Oh, okay.
We'll translate for you, Rob.
Okay.
Oh, God.
This will be the greatest episode ever.
Oh, no, you weren't here for last time.
No, I wasn't.
Last time was crazy.
Yeah.
Because depending on the level of sunspot activity, somebody couldn't hear somebody else. It was insane. Now, I can hear everybody.
Yeah, I can
Oh
hear
my
it.
gosh, like our old days when we called in on the phone and everything.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
It's just very weird. All very weird.
Rob's hearing these long periods of silence while Widge talks and wondering what the heck is going on.
You want me just to try back on my cell phone and see if that
Rob
works?
can, Widge can hear
Only
you.
if you go outside and walk.
That's a very nice way of saying I'm long-winded, John. Thank you.
It was a nice way of saying that? Okay. Wasn't my intention.
I get it.
I don't know what to tell you, Rob. Let's try and troubleshoot it now, shall we? Let's see.
Okay.
Of course. Why not?
All right,
you-
kids, if you need to go pee now.
or
You
3
just edit
hours.
this out.
Use this time wisely.
On your little, are you called in on a phone or on a PC?
I'm on a PC.
I thought you were on a Mac.
I'm on a Mac. Yeah, sorry.
Whatever. Yeah,
That's-
I mean, a
Get it right,
desktop,
Rob.
a desktop or well,
Yes.
All right. So, do you see the little controls to the left-hand side of the?
I do now. There's the screen share and the chat.
Okay. Do you have a thing that says? Oh, this is exciting. There's 3 little dots. Can you say add apps?
My pulse is racing.
There are no 3 little dots. There's chat, and then there's just screensaver,
All right.
and
well,
then yeah,
this
and then there's
conversation's done.
then there's a question mark on the very bottom, and then there's pictures of everybody, including Rox's fan, and yeah.
Here, let me
Dun,
try.
dun, dun.
Let me try this. Let me try muting Widge and muting Widge. Widge, you there?
I'm here.
Rob, can you hear him?
No,
Mm,
I
that's
broke
fine.
it.
Damn the suppression.
I broke the internet.
Did you break the internet?
No, I don't know. Should I log out and try back?
The weirdest thing is that it's selectively one person out of everybody who's here. They can hear everybody else. You only selectively miss. You can't hear one person. That's what I'm trying to get.
Now, granted, if you've got to pick one person to miss, I'm the best one.
Let me see if I mute you. And unmute you. Rob, you there?
Yes.
Widge, can you talk?
Yes, I can.
Rob, did you hear that?
No.
That's fun. So back to the rundown.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you, Rob.
Yeah.
Don't use a Mac? No.
Yeah.
I'm on a
have
Mac.
I'm the only one who's not on a Mac. Well, I guess I am technically on a Mac. This was recording, but
It's all very.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's still rock and roll to me. That's all I know.
All right. Well, what do we want? Endgame. You talked about that.
So trailers. I put stuff for trailers in there.
He put stuff for trailers in there, Rob.
No.
Yes,
It
he
is
did
denied.
put trailers. I don't know why you're saying he didn't.
No, I might were there before. No. Sorry.
What is happening?
Hold on. We'll try this.
I'm so confused. Yeah, I love that. So which has this topic? No.
Why didn't we think about that years ago?
Just say no.
McGruff was trying to tell us the whole time.
Wait, that was Nancy Reagan.
Yeah, she's who was in the McGruff costume.
Spoilers. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my head exploded. Oh.
That was kind of amazing. Admittedly, amazing.
I mean, my head exploded. Not my head exploded. Oh.
Yep.
Game of Thrones, 2 episodes in.
Yeah, and I have...
Hey, there he is.
What?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Don't move then. Don't do anything.
Okay.
Last time, somebody kept moving.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Wasn't I. Sorry.
You hear rocks.
Hello.
Yes.
All right. We're good.
What the hell?
Can you hear
Anyway.
Tuffley?
No, Tuffley's not on.
Oh, good. Good. Then everything's working appropriately.
Good that he's not on.
He's sulking
Trick
because
question.
He's sulking because his hockey team lost.
Oh, you want to talk about sulking?
Hey, I wasn't going to bring that up, but you know.
Let's talk about
What?
the implosion that was the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, what was that all about? They had the best record in hockey, and they got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs.
They led for a period and a half, and that was it. The very first. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Very weird.
it will never come to Florida.
Well, no, we've already won a
Somebody
Stanley Cup. In 2004, we won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the person
You will
that
never
beat us
get another Stanley Cup in Florida.
Well, I think it's just the way they lost than the fact they lost.
Yeah. The coach that beat us was our Stanley Cup coach. So.
Who is it? Who was
Tortorella.
Oh.
Tortorella. I never knew how to pronounce his name.
Oh.
Even though I heard him.
Was he the coach when like Pupa was the goalie?
He might have still been around when Pupa was here.
Oh, I like Pupa.
I pushed my kid in a swing next to Pupa.
Wow.
He lived in my old neighborhood.
Does he
near my
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. After
There you
retired,
go.
he was there.
That's exciting.
All right.
Yeah,
enough hockey
our
talk.
kids were basically the same age. And happened to be at a park, and he came up and put his kid in the swing next to
Who's
mine.
being a dad?
Yep, just chat for a little bit.
What'd you say to him? I like your hockey.
Me like hockey. You have funny names.
Yeah, I've had lots of conversations like that.
The Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not caught up.
6
in fact,
episodes.
Here's what's hilarious.
It's doing.
I have been peppered with more Game of Thrones spoilers than Endgame spoilers. It's weird.
Well, Endgame. Do you
What?
really have? And Endgame really doesn't have that many people that have seen it thus far. So.
Yeah, but they've been. There's always a story about such and such revealed and confirmed in it. I don't want to know.
Well,
So
John Patel.
Mhm.
To me, even with 2 episodes in, did you watch?
Yes.
Watch?
There's not a lot of character development going on anymore.
No, except for that weird kumbaya, let's sit around the fire crap. It's like, oh, really? To me, this is reminding me, this ending is already setting it up for like Boardwalk Empire demise.
oh god.
And HBO does this. If they can pull this out on episode 3, I will be free. If they don't do something, because the last 2 episodes were like, Huh? Oh, okay. You know, first episode, what did you think, John Boutel?
I've thought they've all been okay. It's all just the fact that there's only now 4 episodes, but 6 episodes in total. And I know, and several of them are extra long episodes. Like next week's is supposed to be extra long, but it seems like it's not enough time to cover everything that's left to button up.
Well, no, what they're doing is
my theory. This is just a guess. The Night King wins and just goes all the way down, and we learn that he also knows how to boogie board, and so he goes across the ocean, and then it just wipes out the entire planet, and that's it. It's done.
That would be. I would applaud that.
I actually have a theory.
Your theory is?
My theory is that George R. R. Martin wakes up at the end and Ned's in the shower.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to give Bob Newhart a cameo though. He could be a.
Oh my God!
That would be great.
If you had a couple of the characters wake up and it was a complete rehash of the Newhart ending.
Yes.
Which is still the greatest ending of all television ever.
It is. Unless it's a snow globe. It could happen.
Oh my God, this could be a snow globe more than anything else.
Day.
Winter's been coming. The clues were right there.
All right. The problem I have, which happens to lots of TV and stuff, of time, as far as, okay, the first season, it takes them from Winterfell down to King's Landing, like what, 4 weeks?
They've just gotten way more efficient at traveling. That's all.
It's like, hey, I got a dragon. Boom! 2 hours away.
Isn't Giants Bane a spokesperson for some travel company?
I think so. And
the actually has it. Oh, maybe it's a hotel. I think it's a hotel line.
And the funny thing is if you look at it historically, and this is the thing that R.R. Martin likes to say, is like, hey, I wanted the Fire and Ice series or stories, the books, to be like the 100 Years' War. That's fine. You know, so you have the Sully moving north, and they're not showing like supports, you know, the army of people that bring the food and crap like that. And it's just like, and Jamie Lannister just shows up. It's like, because I got like a Harley sort of horse that can magically get there quickly. I hate that. I really freaking do. Rob, you would love this. So I went to the Tolkien exhibit at the Morgan.
Yes.
Nice. How was it?
Oh my God, it was fantastic. It was just like, it was like, you know, the Morgan saying, yes, we accept you people. It was phenomenal because he made his own maps. All the maps that are in the books, he made.
I heard that. Yeah.
The artwork from the 1972 series, those were his. He designed the first, you know, Hobbit book in Great Britain. The cool thing is, going back, talking, you know, everyone likes to say, oh, blame the Red Wedding on Tolkien. Well, okay. Tolkien made a map of Middle Earth. He understood, because he was a historian and he was a professor, he understood how long it took horses to move across terrain. He accounted for that in the appendices and all that. And this is that whole thing I rail against on HBO. It's like, okay, we don't want to do this anymore. This happened with Boardwalk Empire. This will happen with Westworld. It's happening with, you know, unless they can pull their crap together and make a really good ending. So far, I'm not really happy with 1 and 2. Actually, I wasn't happy with ending of 7, because that's when the dragons magically show up and whisk Jon Snow away. That it's just like, hey, we could travel really quick. And that is the problem I have. It's just like, oh, well, we'll do all this stuff and here you go. On to the next project. It's sloppy. I don't. So that's my rail. It's my rail. But anyway, the Tolkien thing was really great. It was so the paint, they actually had the watercolor paintings that he did for the Ballantine books back in the 70s. And the colors are amazing. So apparently the Tolkien estate's like, oh, we're taking care of, I mean, they've taken care of everything well. That, you know, there's the artwork looks like it was done yesterday. It's phenomenal. It was a phenomenal show. It really was. The problem with going to a show like that, do not go to a show when you know, or an exhibit, and you want to eat lunch. Because you're like, oh, this is fantastic. Oh my God, here is the title page to The Hobbit. There and back again. And you're like, wow, there it is. And then you're going, I really need a sandwich. I hate that. I do. So the Morgan pulled out. Okay, so the really cool thing about that was, so it wasn't a pre-scheduled. So when you show up is when you show up, Rob. So it wasn't like you're getting your time.
No time ticket. Yeah.
So, but on the Morgan website, you can show up in costume, but no staffs, no swords, no axes. You need to wear shoes. So, but apparently 2 weeks ago, they had a sort of a night at Bree type of thing. So people were like dressed up in their favorite Hobbit, you know, Middle Earth gear. So, because I asked one of the guards and I said, so how many people show up? She goes, oh, a lot. And the cool thing is there was a private school getting a tour and they had a docent. So I hung out with them a little bit just to see what, you know, the docent guy was talking about. And it was really good. And so, of course, they blew up some stuff. So I actually wound up buying like $200 worth of books coming out of that show. It's just like, oh, yes, precious. But I mean, he world build correctly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so, you know, comparing. Yeah. So Jackson took his liberties with 3 hour, you know, or what is it, 12 hours total with Lord of the Rings. And it's done well, you know, and yet here this watching episode, whatever, the other night for Game of Thrones, I was just like, oh, this is boring. I was really bored. So that's my rant. Hey, JJ. We can talk about Star Wars if you want. Oh, he's on mute. Unmute.
Well, I was on mute because I don't know anything about Game of Thrones, so I was giving you guys space to talk.
Right.
That's never stopped anyone on this podcast.
I know. I know.
Yeah, well,
have you listened to this show?
I don't have HBO, and the one time I tried to watch Game of Thrones was right after a good friend of mine had died. And
yeah.
Well, here's the it's not even that I was like, oh, all these people are dying. It's, you know, mild spoilers for like the first couple episodes. Is that, you know, that whole thing is that show is all about really getting into the murky waters of like who people are and all of that. And I had watched just enough to go, I have no idea what's going on, but I know that guy's an asshole. Oh, they poured a bunch of gold over his head. Shit, now I don't know who's who.
So let me just ask a question of the group. Everyone is hearing JJ echo occasionally, right?
Yeah.
Double over himself, yes.
Yeah, like he's going back in time.
Yes.
And it's always accompanied with a as though maybe this isn't JJ and it is a computer.
Dun, dun, dun!
I
God.
don't know how to fix that.
It's the weirdest thing because it's like I don't believe it's your problem as much as it is Google's problem.
Actually, here's the thing, JJ, you're sounding like an octave above what you normally sound
you do.
like.
Yeah, that's true.
I have heard that as a problem with this mic. I can get a different mic. It'll just take me a minute to set it up.
That's fine.
So it might actually be that my Zoom is dying, because I've heard it chipmunks the hell out of me. So I will call back in a few.
Okay.
It does. It is like talking to a different person right now.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
Even that laugh, I expected it to be way lower.
That was the creepiest fuck laugh.
Wow. We need that on the soundboard now.
What, the creepiest fuck laugh?
What?
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Well, I would love to play you guys some sound clips, but only I get to hear them.
Why?
Yeah. Okay, so you missed it, but let's rise rock to the wall. How is it possible that every week it's so different? This week is a new routine.
It's like the old days. This is our Stranger Things episode.
No, it's the second one.
Well, I know, but it's like when we first started podcasting, it was like I don't know, calling in on a track phone, and somebody's hustling me for money, and Rob, you're walking in the snow. Come on.
Sorry.
I think we're doing a little better.
I just don't hear Widge.
What? You stopped hearing me?
Rob, did you stop hearing him?
You were hearing me.
Oh.
What the fuck?
Look at the lights. What does it spell, Rob? Or
live.
Okay. Well, Rob, Widge can hear you. I can't.
Well, that's good. Let me try one thing.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's the important part, right, Rob? Is that he can hear you.
Yeah, he probably wishes he didn't, but yeah, hold on.
Whatever.
Rob's gone.
Oh my God! I actually remember the days when if we had like the giant Hall of Justice where we had 9. What was the grand total we had on one time? 9.
Something like that, yeah.
Anywhere from Lee, Kim, Dindrain.
The list got crazy.
The other guy, yeah. It was crazy. Yeah.
Crazy! By the way, yes, the guy who plays Giantsbane was the spokesperson for Wyndham Resorts. He's a Wyndham Resorts wizard. So that's how they're traveling around Westeros so fast.
Wow.
They're going from Wyndham Resort to Wyndham Resort.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like the other day they threw in a line, and this isn't really a spoiler, that they said, given the dynamics of what happened at the end of last season, you somehow people got in front of this massive army without being noticed.
Yeah.
And around them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The whole I have to keep pulling up this interactive map thing I found to try and figure out where everybody is. The only thing that ever makes any sense to me of how fast they can get from one place to another was it Dragonstone to King's Landing? Because it's really just it's a bay that opens up to Dragonstone from King's Landing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get an Uber there easy.
But other than that, how you get from, say, Dragonstone, this is from last season, from Dragonstone all the way out to north of the Wall in a matter of, I don't know, seemingly hours.
Hours, yeah.
I mean, in TV time. Now, I mean, not talking about hours as in episodes, but just is even on the back of a dragon seems like a ridiculously fast amount, whatever.
It does.
But at this point, they're just trying to wrap up the story. So
they are, but it's doing it in such a way that's really unsatisfying. But did you see? All right, so the really weird thing. Did you see the Sesame Street Respect PSA?
No.
Okay, so Sesame Street is now produced by HBO. And eventually, the episodes that air on HBO will show up on PBS because they have no more money. So they rolled out 2, interactive, well, not interactive, but, they're little PSA type things on Respect. One based in Westeros and one in Westworld. Oh, it's a killer. So the Westeros one, it's Peter Dinklage as Tyrion and then Cersei, and they're arguing back and forth, and then stumbles in Elmo. And and he's explaining, you two don't respect each other in his own Elmo way. And they tried to do better. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if this was really in Westeros, they'd throw Elmo to the mountain. I'm just saying. Did you see it, John? You should see it.
No, but I am seeing the articles for it. It's like just this week it came out, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This sounds terrifying.
It is. It is. And then Cookie Monster was, at Westworld, also with Respect, but sharing a cookie with the strange robot lady. And what's his name?
The title of the one for Game of Thrones is Sesame Street: Respect is Coming.
Yes. Yeah. It's okay. Okay. So expect more HBO Sesame Street crossovers.
That's pretty cool.
I'm not sure. It'd be like, well, why can't we watch Game of Thrones? Elmo's on it.
We don't talk about Elmo's dark history, though.
That's a little better, JJ.
Yay, that sounds better. That's our JJ.
I think that was the last hurrah of my Zoom. Oh, well. Goodbye, Zoom.
What is Zoom? Is that your mic?
It was a Zoom H4n. It's a portable recorder.
Oh.
Oh, so you're actually using it as a microphone?
Yeah, you can hook it up through a USB and use it as a USB mic. For something like when I'm just diving in here, it was always just a real quick USB mic, but since it wasn't working, I went ahead and hooked up my board.
You have an H4 set, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have an H1 here. I was wondering if that is the same thing.
It because it had a USB cable that went with it, and so it just goes right into a USB spot on your computer and hook it up as just being on instead of recording, and it works as a mic.
Ah, that's interesting.
Until apparently, when it starts to die, it turns you into an echoing chipmunk.
Oh.
What's weird is it would just echo one word. So it was like, so if I, that kind of thing.
Oh, well, I do have a stutter.
No, it was definitely not a stutter. It was definitely a very, because it would also be accompanied with a at the same time.
You were kind of like a really cut rate Max Headroom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah, but Matt Furris had a really long career, so I'll take it.
Max Headroom, by the way, kids, go look it up. It was one of the original HBO shows.
Then play Paranormal.
Yeah.
Was that really an HBO show?
I think. I thought it was Showtime.
I thought it was Showtime.
Or
Hold on.
Cinemax.
All right.
There was the talk show, but then there was the television show, which I believe was just
that was like
the
really,
future.
That was short lived.
Yeah, but
that was
really good.
Okay, no, it was originally for Channel 4 in the UK, but HBO provided some of the original funding, which I assume means that they got it.
Oh,
okay.
I just know as a little sci-fi starved child that not the talk show, but the story show.
Oh wait,
was exactly what little sci-fi kid needed.
Oh, okay. So HBO funded Max Headroom 20 Minutes into the Future, which was the movie. Okay. I thought that was also the name of the series for some reason. But the TV series aired on ABC.
Oh, wow.
The Max Headroom show was on Cinemax.
Oh.
And Paranormia was on the Art of Noises album. It was really good.
Yes.
The same album that had Dwayne Eddy's version with them of the Peter Gunn theme.
Right. And Close to the Edit as well, right?
Probably. I just remember being scared of that child in that video. That little girl with a baseball bat scared the fuck out of me as a kid.
That's wise.
And then I grew up and went, oh, she's just goth. Okay, cool.
Okay. It's Close to the Edit was on their first album. Whereas well, where was Dwayne Eddy?
I don't remember the name of that album. I just remember I had it because I had a lot of early Art of Noise because they were different.
Yeah, that's
Oh
on.
my
It's
God,
on
I
like
did
every.
too.
Yeah, it's on like every Art of Noise best of that's out.
That is true.
Gotcha. The Invisible Silence. That was
That's
their
the
second
one.
album.
But I
have
think it's
that.
on. I think it's on Invisible Silence in the U.S., but not the original version of it. I might be wrong.
Oh.
I
Oh,
do know
okay.
that-
So let's see. Well, I don't know. Basically, if we believe Wikipedia, and why would we? It looks like it's on all of them, because God knows it's been released a few times. So, what happened to them? Oh, they came back in 2017. What was this?
What?
Oh, okay. Outtakes and unreleased material. That doesn't mean they were active again.
Well, I mean, but
Oh, wait. No, lies. They
Go ahead.
they rebooted as support for the Human League, and they appeared at the British Library last year. So there you go.
I mean, to some extent, all bands that seem to be focused on pushing the edge of synthesizer shit never. I mean, when's the last time anybody saw Hot Butter live?
Well,
A little bit ago, I just put it in the microwave.
Or the Moog
I was about to
Cookbook.
say you
They're all
have
these-
to. The Hot Butter I'm thinking of is only available on DVD from Region 4.
The Hot Butter I'm thinking of is only available on Spice Channel.
Oh, here's a bit you may not know. Ann Dudley from Art of Noise
Yes.
is won an Oscar for Best Original Musical or Comedy Score for The Full Monty.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Oh, I thought you knew that.
No. There are so many things I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
And now you know that. So that's
And no,
It says on the Art of Noise online that, let's see, they're busy remastering. What is it?
Yeah, they're doing a reissue thing, and then they're going to tour.
Okay, you guys had me actually doubting myself. I was right. The band is Hot Butter.
Hot Butter. Hang on.
Hang on, I'm about to play their one and only track.
I'm googling hot. I'm googling Hot Butter. God help me.
yes, that's Spaceship Drum.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, got it.
Yeah, they did the song Popcorn.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm not going to put myself out there as like Rob or Tuffley, but I do know my fair share of obscure music.
Oh no, you do.
Now, that being said, I just saw that they also did a cover of Telstar, which I've got to hear.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I needed to ask you, JJ, have you heard anything about Mongolian heavy metal yet?
What?
Oh yeah, that was wild.
Oh my god! I did a post. Nobody reads any posts. I posted.
I
about
read
this. It's this whole thing,
Not that you can hear me, but I read it.
I can actually hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's this like huge underground movement of like metal from Mongolia that's finally like making its way over here, and it's like a genre, Mongolian heavy metal, and it's like insane.
Fantastic.
Yeah, throat singing, and traditional instruments, and
I need.
I've ruined your day tomorrow. You will do nothing else.
Okay,
the Who? Is that it? The Who? Is that at the HU? I heard them. I like them.
Do you have a free day tomorrow, JJ?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you have a free day tomorrow?
I have therapy, and after therapy, I'm free. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's probably wise. I like to be free after therapy.
The thing, I mean, to be fair, Rob, it's great that you wrote an article, but my life has been a garbage fire since last August.
Mine too, but
so
that's okay.
I get it. No,
I should have messaged you directly. I didn't do that.
Oh no!
You should have been the first person I thought of, actually.
You have also had your own things going on, but no, my circle of life has become very, 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 very small. So I will start.
There are benefits. I will tell you that there are actually benefits to that.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to reach out again. I'm taking theater classes again and doing stuff. It's weird.
Awesome.
Yeah, and to be honest, JJ, I didn't contact you about it because when I watched one of the videos, I could have sworn you were in the background pumping your fist. So
I was recently, well, not recently. I mean, it was October, in the background of an episode of SmackDown, WWE SmackDown.
Really?
I had seats right by the entrance, so you could. I just popped my earphones out. I can't hear anything, but but yeah, you could see me on a lot of wrestlers' entrances pumping my fist.
Oh,
nice.
How was SmackDown?
That particular episode was a lot of fun.
Have they not been fun lately?
Was there a lot of smacking, and was it in the general direction of down?
Of downward, yes. Lots of people got knocked down. No, actually, I mean, not to go into wrestling talk, but SmackDown is infinitely more fun than Raw lately.
Yes, it is.
Infinitely more fun than what?
Than Raw.
Raw is a 3-hour. It's like watching.
Oh,
it's this podcast is wrestling.
It's a 3-hour tour. Yeah, if Gilligan and the skipper were watching paint dry while we were recording, that would be Raw.
Yeah.
So, but they're all from the same company. Is there what makes them, being a person who doesn't watch wrestling all the time?
Who are the bad guys and who are the good guys?
That depends on the week.
Yes, and also because there are two shows running live concurrently, they don't necessarily have the same writers. And they don't necessarily have the same talent. One of the hottest people in wrestling right now is on SmackDown. Is Tuffley. If Tuffley was a woman by the name of Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah. Now we know that Tuffley actually is Becky Lynch, which means I have a Tuffley shirt. Go fig. But so Becky Lynch is on there, and so pretty much
Does she still keep the belt after WrestleMania?
She has 2 belts now.
Okay, because I knew she won at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
when she won at WrestleMania, she got both the Raw and SmackDown belts because, again, she's the most popular person right now, so they want to put her on every television show possible.
Who is this person again?
Becky Lynch.
Well, look it up.
So, JJ, I've long been of the opinion that somebody needs to do a contract with Grant Morrison to get him to write a wrestling arc.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please.
Okay, I've seen her around.
If not, I mean, yes, but if not Grant Morrison, I would certainly settle for Warren Ellis.
Yeah.
And if not Warren Ellis, Garth Ennis.
Oh God, that's too much blood.
Yeah, have you seen the previews for The Boys on Amazon?
I have. I don't know how to feel about it yet.
They have Carl Urban, and I love Carl Urban.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And they had the good sense of, because Simon Pegg is sort of aged out of playing Wee Huey, they have him playing Wee Huey's dad. So
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did just recently. A friend of mine sent me. I probably shouldn't say this, but my friend sent me a password to DC Online.
Ooh,
So
send that to me.
I just started looking at some stuff on DC Online. I've watched 2 episodes of Titans, and I realize this is coming from me. But they really need to learn other profanity than the word fuck.
Yes, they do.
That second episode, I was like, I know I use the F-bomb a lot, but even I'm like, come on, man.
I think I bailed after the second episode simply because of that. It was because it seemed like they were trying hard to be hard,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't coming off very well.
I'm intrigued by some of what they're doing under that, but I'm not. I just want better writing. I really liked. I like the direction they're taking Raven and stuff, but whoo-wee, come on, man. Excuse me.
Have you watched any of Doom Patrol?
Not yet.
Because I am really enjoying that, and I am just amazed how batshit they've managed to make that show.
Yeah, I'm going to start on it next week.
Yeah, I will probably start on that. If things go the way it looks like they're going, I will probably start on that in June. Long story.
Okay.
All right.
I'm heading out.
Bye out.
I have a meeting.
Oh, Rox, I have to ask you something.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask you this forever.
Yeah.
So, Brian Setzer's on tour right now.
Yeah.
Have you moved the fence over on the property or anything?
So I've gotten this infiltration of bamboo from Setzer's property. and I'm not really happy over it. And I believe that I found a dead rat in my yard. So I don't know. Things are difficult with the Setzers.
Well, knowing that it's you, Roxanne, I believe that you only have one thing you can do. Buy a panda.
It's true.
It's funny. I don't think I've
All
ever
right,
called you
we need to do a caper on that because I think they're hard to come by, these pandas.
I believe you mean another panda.
Another panda. All right.
I just realized how weird it is that I called you by your full name, but I was reading it off the screen.
Okay.
So Rox, have you got any recommendations? Before you go.
Read The Hobbit. No. So I'm rereading that. What else am I reading? I joined a women's book club.
I'm sorry.
Which we read like what other people read books. Non-genre books.
Was McGruff
what?
Was McGruff at the women's?
No, like Educated is a book, Hillbilly Elegy, but I'll go with Calypso. I think I said Calypso the last time, which is David Sedaris. Or Theft by Finding.
Rob,
Rob, what are you looking for?
Rob, are you putting together IKEA furniture? What's happening?
Actually, yes.
Oh, okay.
So, he literally drops a one of those little studs onto the desk.
It was actually a screwdriver.
So
now let's go back to desk talk.
Sorry, Rox. You were saying?
That's okay. So one of the cool things though that they did. So some of the books, and you can get these at the Morgan, or I'm sure you can get them through Amazon. This one you might. Is the Letters from Father Christmas, J.R.R. Tolkien. And he made these really cool illustrated stories and letters from Father Christmas to his children. And the cool thing is with scanning technology now, unlike the old days of printing, the colors, he really, for somebody that never really took an art class, his style was really good, I would say. His mother wrote really these ornate letters with not really calligraphy. It was almost like, like runes almost. And that's where he got his idea of doing rune work and stuff. So very decorative. So that's Letters from Father Christmas. There's the artist and illustration. So there's a ton of, the catalog alone is really cool, Rob. It's like,
Yeah, I'll have to look for
Yeah.
that. I was supposed to go see the movie Thursday, so
what movie?
the Tolkien,
The Tolkien
that's
movie.
coming.
What?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the one where Nicholas Holt's playing.
Yeah.
How did I not know this?
Well,
I
you
mean,
know.
I honestly, the only reason I know about it is because I occasionally go into the Apple Trailers app and also I just
Oh,
Yeah.
they haven't done a lot of I haven't seen a lot of stuff on it.
Yeah, they're
Oh.
doing a Fathom thing for it too before it comes out with the Q&A.
wow.
Yeah.
Is Christopher still alive? I know he was on Diane Rehm once, a couple years ago.
Ooh. You mean
Yeah.
on her show, not actually
On her
Diane.
show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. On Diane Reham's show. Yeah. But the book on artist and illustrator, pick that up if you could. If you're a Tolkien fan. Actually, if you're a Tolkien fan, go to the Morgan Library. There's a couple of videos out about it, and there are some, images online. A lot of the museums and libraries are now producing their own videos. So if you're jonesing for something, because the Morgan will do, even on Instagram, they'll do a short little video tour. I know that they did that with the Frankenstein one.
Yes.
Back in
Which was
October.
excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm going with all Tolkien this time.
Cool.
Done. Now I'm going to go watch that trailer.
All right. Thanks, Rox.
You're welcome. Oh, ding! Because there's no
ding,
sound.
dong.
Ding to get recorded. I dinged it.
Okay.
Things have been
This
dinging.
ding was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Ding, 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 ding.
Reactions to us.
Yeah. So, should we do introductions then?
Sure.
Okay, good.
Hi, I'm
right.
Rocks.
We'll do again. That trick never works. Okay, so we'll do introductions and we'll do them starting now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Weekend Justice. This is the Weekend Justice podcast here on needcoffee.com, the #1 audio internet train wreck. We're here in the Hall of Weekend Justice with the Weekend Justice League, and I'll endeavor to introduce them. Going from my right to your left, we have JJ with us. Hello, JJ.
I am not a Skywalker.
But everyone else is. We also have Rob. Hi, Rob.
Hello.
Hi. And John for the Neat Geek. Hi, John.
Super Friends transition sound here.
I have that on my computer somewhere.
Speaking of which, I forgot to put that in there. The Star Wars trailer.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
JJ, there is one thing in that trailer. Granted, it's the main thing of that trailer, but TIE Fighter attack flip.
Oh.
That sold me on the film all on its own.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was going to see it anyway because I respected the flawed nature of Last Jedi, but and I want to see how the hell they're going to quote unquote end it. Since
Yeah, Skywalker's in the shower, pretty much.
Yeah,
like Dallas.
I adore wholeheartedly, with no irony whatsoever, The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I did too.
Well, there were two. There was one. Well, there are two major problems I had with it, and I love what I thought they were trying to do, which was to subvert expectations. I'm a huge fan of that, but the whole using spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it. The whole using a light speed capable ship as a weapon was fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can't tell me if it was that devastating, somebody wouldn't have turned that into an actual weapon and we would have seen it by now. And two, why would you wait since all of your ships in the Armada were light speed capable? Why didn't you use one of those?
I do have
earlier.
I do have an answer. My feelings on that. But before I do that, I want to do this real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Should work. Why is it not working?
I feel like that all the time. What are you talking about?
I go to hymns to solve that problem.
I don't know if that actually played. I don't know if I have it set up correctly.
John, you sing hymns?
That's what I do.
I tried to play the Super Friends transition sound, but I don't think it played through my board. Okay, but I understand there. That has definitely been the quote unquote Holdo maneuver has certainly been a thing that a lot of people have discussed. But my thing is that the Rebel Alliance, as we have met them since Star Wars in 70, whatever it came out in, has been about protecting life. And so no one would ever order anyone to do a suicide mission. I mean, that is something that, part of the reason we're horrified by terrorist attacks is that we believe inherently as a people that is a horrific action. So one of the things that I find is very fascinating about Holdo is that part of the reason that she doesn't tell anybody about what she's planning is, even though she's not planning on doing the light speed thing to the last minute, but she's planning all along on sacrificing herself to save everyone. And she knows if she talks about it, they'll try to find some other way and talk her out of it. So she plays it close to the chest. And so that is a last act of desperation to save everyone. And it's not something that they would ever ask anyone to do.
Right, but what I'm saying is someone would have weaponized it, meaning even if first of all, even if the Rebel Alliance wouldn't do it, the Empire or the First Order would definitely strap someone in a cockpit and say, "Have a nice day." But I'm talking about what's that?
Do you even need to strap anyone into a cockpit? Isn't that couldn't you
exactly?
Just...
Well, that was my point. If you had to, if that was the only way you could make it work for some reason, the bad guys would definitely do it. But my assumption is there's a way to weaponize it where you could basically do the equivalent of a drone, some kind of large enough ship that would cause maximum amount of damage, and use it that way. So that was my problem, and but I totally get where you're coming from, but even then, I kind of think you would still use one of like the med bay ships so that you would like not be without a ship.
Well, except for you need the med bay ships if people are going to survive. There's also the chance. I mean, this is, you can, supposition on stories of what they just didn't feel is important to write in the story is part of what analyzing literature is all about. But, we have no evidence that's ever been done before. So, there could just be a lot of flat-footed bad guys going, fuck, why didn't we think of that? Which could really change warfare going forward.
Yeah, and not to make it too real, but I mean, that's essentially what happened on 9/11, right? No one ever thought, well, why don't we just take a plane and drive into things?
Yeah, I mean, to do something horrific, somebody's got to do it first.
No, that's true.
But
that's very true.
In the meantime, the Empire has built planet-destroying weapons.
Yeah, they don't believe in subtlety like flying.
And also, and I just remembered, the other major problem I had was that Poe, who's supposed to be one of your heroes, basically, if he had just followed orders, a lot less people would have died.
Well, isn't that Luke's whole story from Empire Strikes Back?
I
I mean, because the thing, Poe's story in The Last Jedi, Poe's whole story is that he kind of turns from a Han Solo type into a Leia type. He learns from being a fuck up that, oh, this is why I should pay attention.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that, because I get the whole fuck up thing, but that was like a major fuck up where, like, any other reasonable army probably would have shot him just to make sure he didn't do it again. So
Leia did shoot him.
You know what I mean? Like, shoot him like.
But I mean, Luke runs off when he shouldn't have from Dagobah because he didn't want to follow orders. I mean, they never have been necessarily good at following orders. But again, I also know that part of my thing is, if I'm honest about it, I haven't been public, like I haven't been public facing but I've been honest about the fact that I got diagnosed with depression and blah, 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 blah. And this has been a very difficult period of time for me. But one of the things that I have found is I have leaned really heavily on Star Wars the last couple of months. It's been very comforting for me. And so I've analyzed these films a lot.
In other words, Widge, you're criticizing the thing that's keeping JJ alive. You
feel about that, you bastard.
I'm not saying. I know. No, everything. Literature and film and all of that is to be analyzed. But this is the internet, so I'm just saying that your opinion is made of butts.
Well, I am a giant butt for one thing, and I have a giant butt. It gets bigger every day, but. I think it's interesting when you're...
And I can't lie.
At least there's something you're truthful about, John. I appreciate that. But no, the thing... What the hell was I going to say? I've completely lost my train of thought. My Snowpiercer of thought has derailed and been eaten by a polar bear. Spoilers.
You're talking about Poe and his disobeying and stuff.
Oh, wait. Well, you were mentioning that it's interesting to see what writers do and don't mention, but I have a huge thing about that where I think personally as a writer, it's very important to quell the question in the audience's mind, lest it grow and fester. And my perfect example of this is Armageddon. Because the obvious, and I enjoyed Armageddon, mostly because the better film was supposed to be Deep Impact, but they blinked and changed the script. Because if you can ever find the actual script, the draft of it that was the actual human drama version, it's fucking amazing. But anyway, in Armageddon, the obvious question is there's a giant rock heading towards Earth. Why don't they just blow it up? And they actually take care of it in 2 lines.
Really?
One of the characters says, why don't we just blow it up? And Billy Bob Thornton says, we can't. It's too big. Now, it doesn't matter if that's scientifically right or plausible or anything. You've basically told the audience, yeah, we thought of that, and you can't do it. The rules of this universe say you can't blow it up. And so I immediately went, can't blow it up. Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, because we know the honest reason that Holdo did that, did the light speed into the ship was because when Ryan Johnson was a kid and heard Han Solo say, you got to do the calculations of light speed. You don't want to come out right in the middle of the planet or something. And he went, oh, really? What would happen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
so
the same thing. Like, one of the things I'm dying to ask Neil Gaiman is the whole episode of Doctor Who he wrote where you have a Cyberman as a mechanical Turk. That feels like that kind of idea that you came up with when you were like 19 and you put in your back pocket thinking, I'll never have a chance to use that. And then you whip it out and everyone goes, that's awesome.
It's one of those things that could be pretty intriguing about the Disney Plus show, The Mandalorian. It's Favreau.
I want the trailer. Where's the trailer, JJ?
Well, the footage that they aired was leaked, and the reason they didn't put it out is if you watch like the footage that's out there, it's not ready to be seen.
Oh, but I want it, JJ.
There's a
You
couple of
want it.
shots that look really great, but if you watch this, you're just going to look at it and go, "Oh man, this still looks like a great concept, but good God, that looks cheap." Although I will say, seeing Carl Weathers made me very happy because I'm also a Rocky fanatic, and anytime you see him, he's great.
And JJ, Werner Herzog as a why is it taking this long for that casting to happen? Because that's obvious.
If you do watch the footage that's leaked, he uses part of a monologue that he has as a narration.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, I read the description of the footage they showed, and it sounds fucking badass.
Yeah, I mean, but Favreau has come out and said that the scripts for The Mandalorian are things that he wrote when he was in his college dorm.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Which is why, he keeps putting out on his Instagram, like, oh, look, here's IG-88. It's like, we don't know if he's going to be in the background or if he's going to be, like, in it legit or what, but here he is.
Yeah, he's in it. He's in it. They've leaked photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, of all the Star Wars stuff, yes, TIE Fighter attack flip is amazing, but holy fuck, I want to see The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I do too.
Because adult Western set in Star Wars, yes, please.
Yeah. Basically, everything they've announced for Disney Plus, including the price, has just said, okay, yeah, I'm opening my wallet. Go.
Yeah, the fact they're basically doing Marvel limited series set in the MCU, and they're going to do animated what ifs. Fuck yes.
I know.
Which I actually absolutely love. I'm like, yes, do some animated movies with the MCU actor voices.
Well, and if they do, and if the series the live action series go the way that the rumors are, they're going to tell stories that'll be interesting that we don't need to waste time to see truncated versions of in the films. So if the Hawkeye series is what they keep saying it is, and it's going to be Jeremy Renner training Kate Bishop, and so then he gets to retire and not do Avengers movies anymore, and whoever they cast as Kate Bishop gets to be the new Hawkeye. Yeah,
I suspect I know why Rob is laughing.
And JJ, then you can turn around and do the Black Widow Hawkeye Budapest movie as an animated. So that Jeremy can come in and record it in like a week and a half and be done.
I would love it if they, going back to Star Wars, I would love it if they did a Star Wars animated series with Hamill as Luke, and the whatever the fuck happened between Return of the Jedi and Phantom Menace. Just fill in some stuff. I don't care if it's just a weird anthology, a la like some of those 80s shows like The Hitchhiker and stuff, where he just wanders around and watches shit happen. I'm happy.
I'm kind of excited about the Obi-Wan movies.
If they happen, yeah.
Which, I got the impression it was all pretty much going to go, but
I thought that the last I heard was that they're taking a break from movies for a while for Star Wars. Even the no pun intended, solo movies are going to be put on the back burner for a few years.
They have 2 trilogies that are in production, but we don't know how far in productions they are. So the people that are the showrunners for Game of Thrones are doing a trilogy, which obviously they haven't been working on that too much because they've been working on some television show on HBO. And they're giving, I can't think of his name all of a sudden, although I've said it 5 times already, the guy who directed Last Jedi, they're giving him a trilogy as well.
Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
Or Ryan Johnson, either way.
So those are in production. They just don't know when. But yeah, after Solo didn't do so hot, which I loved.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
That's all it needed to be, was fun.
Yeah, I got Oh, please.
No, and I was just saying, I think the problem is, rather than, I think they did it too soon. If they had proven themselves, like with doing some other, like if they had done some more Rogue One type things, just a one-off story, and prove themselves, it's kind of like with the MCU now. If the MCU comes out and says they're going to do X, then you're like, that sounds crazy, but okay.
We're going to do another Howard the Duck. Let's go. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, absolutely. But I tell you, the series I want is the Donnie Yen and Zhang Wen's characters from Rogue One.
Oh, God, yes.
I want to see them doing pretty much anything.
Just remake, just basically put CGI Jedi costumes on the Grandmaster movies. And I'm in.
Because I kind of want Donnie Yen to be Shang-Chi, but
Oh, I love that.
because you heard that's happening, right? They've actually hired a director.
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, they've hired a director.
Oh, Donnie Yen would be a great choice for that. Of course, I watch Donnie Yen do anything.
Yeah, pretty much. The thing I enjoy most is probably the first Ip Man, where, and spoilers if you know this is how it's going to end, but basically he gets in a one-on-one fight with a guy, and you know how in every fighting movie there's a bit where they're kind of evenly matched, and then the bad guy gets the upper hand and wails on the good guy, and the good guy comes back from behind and wins. You know that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Ip Man beats the shit out of this guy from round one and just wipes the floor with him.
Yeah. I actually, a second ago, I said Grandmaster because Grandmaster is an Ip Man movie, but that's the one that was made by Wong Kar-wai.
Oh, okay.
I meant the 3 Ip Man movies.
Yeah.
Just put Jedi robes on him and call it Star Wars, and I'm in.
Yeah, I thought that was just amazing because I was ready for the usual, quote unquote Rocky ending, right? The Rocky ending fight where the good guy gets his ass handed to him for a while, but then has to come back. Oh no.
Yeah, and if anybody listening to this has not seen the 3 Ip Man movies, watch them for God's sake. They get crazier and crazier, but they're all 3 amazing.
And he's incredible in them. He's absolutely incredible.
And he's even amazing in what was it, Iron Monkey?
Yeah,
that movie was bad, but he was really good.
Yeah, there was the
Brass Monkey.
That funky monkey.
What was there was one he did recently. Oh, good Lord. Because he was even good in the Triple X movie. Go figure.
Which one was he in?
Return of Xander Cage, the most recent one.
Okay, I have not watched it. I will have to now that I know that he's in it.
Yeah, he's in it. Tony Jaa's in it, but a very small role. And Ruby Rose is in it.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it simply because I really enjoyed the first Triple X film, because at the time James Bond was shit.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, why not? Extreme sports James Bond, fuck it, do it. So I'm glad they came back and did a sequel, and they did it properly.
Have you seen the trailer for the Fast and Furious spinoff movie?
Yes, and I'm in, because it's just big and stupid and loud, and Idris Elba is, Kryptonian in it. I'm cool. I'm done. I'm in.
They put just enough crazy.
Yeah, and I think The Rock and Jason Statham just bantering through the whole thing. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm in. Looks
Totally.
good. What the fuck was there was some other movie I've seen recently. It was a more recent
Was it
Donnie
Shazam?
Yen film. No. I was looking at Donnie Yen. There's something I saw where it was just a simple, like a some kind of like martial arts cop thing or something. I mean, not great, but it was
Time Cop.
no. Although if they rebooted Time Cop with him, I would be all fucking over it. I don't remember.
You did remind me of something, Rob, that amused the hell out of me. So I was passing a movie theater marquee recently, and it's one of those things that if you run the full words together, it makes a homonym, or that not a homonym, but but you know, it makes a wordplay that isn't there otherwise. But there was if you took it all as one film, there was something playing at a theater recently that I wanted to see so much, and that was Captain Marvelous, a film by Jordan Peele.
Oh, awesome.
I want to see Jordan Peele make Captain Marvelous.
Oh, okay. So sidebar there then. Has anyone watched Twilight Zone yet?
No.
Not yet.
I have to, because it looks so good, but I just haven't had a chance.
I was going to watch the first episode that they put out on YouTube after I came home from Us, but then I ended up getting in a long conversation about Us instead, so I have not yet.
Yeah, I have still not seen Us. I don't. That may be a watch at home, just because it looks so fucking disturbing.
There are certain kinds of I don't want to call, they're not always horror films, but they're enthralling. I don't know if you saw or cared for the movie It Follows.
I have not seen it, but I'm aware of it. I'm like,
okay.
I know what it was about and everything.
It Follows, I liked quite a bit, but part of the experience for me was seeing it in the movie theater because, well, part of it's because of the plot, but also it is a film of just kind of slowly building dread. It's the kind of like frog in boiling water experience.
Right.
That when you're in the sensory deprivation tank of a movie theater and you can't get up and, you know, I don't know, check email and that kind of stuff, or you can't play on your phone while you're there,
right?
That experience kind of adds to it. So the thing about Us is, I mean, I'm not going to say what anyone's experience is going to be watching a film, because I know that you, Witch, said that you were upset with the first episode of Black Mirror. When I watched it and immediately was like, oh, shut up and fuck the pig already.
Mark that too, John. I think we need that one. Well, and here's the thing. This is what's interesting. You can tell when a film is completely like fucking with my head, because I watched 127 hours at home, and I was riveted the entire time. And during, shall we say, the escape sequence, I was standing on my couch. Standing. I just, not only standing on the floor, I stood up on my couch and was just like, ah. So.
Right. I definitely had films that I intended on watching over dinner, and then the movie ends and I realize I've got a plate of cold food in front of me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what I guess what I'm saying with that is I find that Us is a mood piece. So if you do wait to watch it at home, which is perfectly acceptable, just give yourself a space where you can buy into the mood.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That is one thing I try to be really good at, is I try to enter a film going, all right, I'm going to go wherever you want me to go. As long as you don't, wake up my brain, if you want me to, I'll turn my brain completely off and just go with it, right? So right. I am real easy for that. That's why I freaked the fuck out watching Event Horizon. That's why I freaked the fuck out watching Jacob's Ladder, is because I get into it. And if you're good, I'll stay in it.
Yeah, I think of that because one of the strongest experiences I ever had of that was we were in Los Angeles, and I took my girlfriend to a business meeting she had to go to. So I then went to the movie theater next door and watched the movie Hollow Man, the Invisible movie with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
And no, it's terrible. And of course I regret it. But I was following along with it up until about 3/4 of the way. And there's literally a sequence where he's standing invisible in a big tub of water, holding a wire that he sticks into the water where he's standing. And then I was like, okay, this movie was already kind of not that great, but I was going along with it. But now invisibility makes you not conducive to electricity.
Who knew?
That's a bridge I cannot cross.
Invisibility, fine.
Yeah.
It's not conducting electricity. Not so much.
Because they didn't establish that. Establish that, and I'll go on the journey with you.
Yeah. That is very frustrating, is when it's like, set up the rules for your universe, follow them.
And just back off.
And just back off.
Put the pencil down.
Yeah, or if you're going to establish something, just establish it ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a great sequence in, and I won't say which comic book it's in, even though it's the second volume of said comic, and it was not very good compared to the first volume. But there's a character who, it turns out, can see has like infrared vision as part of his monstrous powers, because you see from his point of view at one point. And so it establishes that it's really hard to hide from this guy. And that comes into play later in brutal fashion. So if anyone wants to know, I will say in the chat, but it's just it was made into a terrible film by Fox.
Ah. Okay, I now believe I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, and speaking of terrible movies by Fox, so the final Dark Phoenix trailer came out.
Oh, that looks terrible.
I mean, it does. And here's the bit that I don't understand. I mean,
here we go.
We've done this story badly once.
But Bryan Singer wanted to do it his way.
But it basically, and we spent all of Days of Future Past undoing the last time they did this story. Days of Future Past, which was basically, hey, we managed to create a prequel franchise that's better than the franchise itself, so we're going to have the prequel franchise people like essentially go forward in time to save the other franchise. That's basically what it was, and it worked.
Yeah, I don't know what the buyout agreement is between Fox and Disney, but I really think it would be Disney's best interests to just eat it and bury it.
Well, the other thing too is, I think they may do that with New Mutants, which I would be happy with, because I'm actually looking forward less to New Mutants than Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Bill Sienkiewicz said they're not.
Fuck!
And he's excited by it, so I'm cautiously optimistic.
I am not, because it looks fucking horrible.
The trailer...
What's that?
Good. The trailer wasn't good, but both Claremont and Bill Sienkiewicz have said, sure.
Yeah, because
they have to. They're cashing checks.
Yeah, exactly. And Sienkiewicz is doing fine anyway, because he basically designed the Kingpin for Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's the same fucking problem. It's like, you can't do Dark Phoenix until you've established Jean. And, oh my god, that was the biggest thing of like Velcro I've ever heard, Rob. What is happening?
I have no idea. I literally just moved the phone, so I don't know.
Oh, okay, you're on the phone. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, you have to set up Jean. Jean was set up for like over 100 issues before Phoenix ever showed up. So you had established the character. So when the character changed, it would be a little weird. But not only has the character not been around, especially this version of the character, long enough, but they've already done this.
Mm-hmm.
And then for New Mutants, they go to, the best solo New Mutant storyline, Demon Bear. And the whole point is, you can't just go to Demon Bear. You can't go to the best storyline and just cherry pick it with no setup whatsoever. And New Mutants is not a horror movie. It can be a horror movie later, but not to begin with. So I'm just like, I think personally, Disney will probably let these things release just so that everyone will be so happy to see them put something out X-Men that it'll be like Spider-Man Homecoming. It'll be like, oh, it doesn't matter that we've had this rebooted for the third time. We're just so happy it's good this time.
If that means we get, like, say, into the New Mutants first, I'm down.
The only problem, Fox unfortunately did everything wrong. They cherry picked X-Men characters instead of like going and doing a beginning and then another team, and it automatically lends itself to phasing actors out and bringing new ones in. Oh my God.
There were...
Rob, whatever you're doing, duct tape the phone to your head or something. It's really loud. Oh my God. So loud. What is happening? Rob's fallen into the Sarlacc pit, JJ. What do we do?
We'll see him in 1,000 years.
Better be a big pit.
But they also basically went and had the character that shows up and goes into the X-Men and is your character that you're following is Logan, who no one can relate to. Not really, because he's Logan.
Yeah.
Nobody has metal skeleton. Nobody's lived since like World War I. It obviously should have been Kitty. Because go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I just wanted to go ahead and skip forward, and I'm giving you this Marvel now. This is the plot for Guardians of the Galaxy 4, which you can rush out right after 3, because I know James Gunn has 3 ready to go. But for Guardians of the Galaxy 4, we have them just out in space, and then the Guardians come across the Brood.
Mm.
And so as in the middle of a fight, they kick down a door, and the X-Men are just there. And then everybody fights. And then we'll introduce them later.
The only thing you need to do with the Brood, though, is you need to do something to differentiate them a little bit from the Xenomorphs from Alien. Because, I mean,
really clear with the design and really played up the like cockroach sort of looking nature of them.
Yeah.
We'd be okay.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. It's just, you know what I'm saying? That was basically them trying to do Alien in the comics.
Right.
So you just gotta be careful.
And then when Chris Pratt decides he doesn't want to do these movies anymore, you just have the story midway take over with Corsair and the Starjammers, and we still have a space story.
I would be very happy with a Starjammers series on Disney Plus.
Oh, yes, that's you got me. As soon as you said Disney Plus, you got me. Yes, I'm actually for a lot of these. I like the idea of doing them they're usually better as small bites of story as opposed to big grand stories.
Right, and that's the problem we had with Netflix, where they'd be like, okay, we need 13 episodes for a season of Jessica Jones. well, we got 10 episodes of story. Well, that's great, but we need 13 episodes. Or oh, we've got 14 episodes of story. Well, that's great, but we got 13 episodes. With Disney Plus, if they can basically be like, we've got 5 episodes worth of story. Well, here's your 5 episodes. I will be so fucking thrilled. I can't even tell you. You know? Because limited series used to be, because I remember when they were all 4, and then I think, wasn't Secret Wars like the first one that like wasn't 4 issues or something? Because it went to 12, and then they basically just did whatever they felt like after that point.
Yeah, I grew up a poor kid, so I actually I literally came into Spider-Man when he had gotten the black costume, so I missed Secret Wars.
Wow. So you missed him getting it. You just saw him show up with it.
The first comic I ever bought was the introduction of the character who became a big deal in Secret Wars 2, but was the introduction of the character Puma.
Here's how sad it is, JJ. I know exactly what comic you're talking about.
Madman recently posted some Marvel Legends that he went out and got of like black costume Spider-Man and Puma, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not buying toys. I'm not buying toys.
No, I know. I can't.
But that's my geek DNA right there. I want those so bad, but I haven't bought them, and I'm not going to do it. I just want them.
Yeah, the two things I have to resist are toys. I mean, I could always go to Brian's house and, live vicariously through him. And vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I allowed myself one vinyl purchase, and that was they re-released they put out actually for the first time the full Night of the Living Dead score on vinyl, and they got me. I can't, what could I do? I couldn't do anything. So, and just to warn you, and it was Waxworks Record that did that, and it was really nice. But just to warn you, JJ, I don't want you to get blindsided by this. Is that Mondo is doing a series of Marvel soundtracks on vinyl.
Oh.
They already put out the Netflix soundtracks, but the first one they're doing is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I came real close to buying. I didn't, but I found the soundtrack to Homecoming on picture disc.
Mm.
And the fact that it was a picture disc and it was Spider-Man Homecoming and it's a good score, I was real close, but I walked away.
Yeah, it's just because my collector mentality, I can't do it because I won't know when to stop. I managed to, like I said, I managed to do Night of the Living Dead and stop, but I don't know that I could do much, beyond that.
Well, it's like recently, again, going back to toys, I haven't bought a single toy for myself in a long, long time, but a couple, I don't know, it's been maybe 2 years ago now, Marvel Legends put out a Build-A-Figure of Warlock.
Oh, yeah.
That's really, really
yeah. I got you.
So I bought the first figure of it and then realized how many figures I was going to have to buy. And rather than buying the rest, I went to eBay and just bought it whole. I was like, I'll buy the Colossus because I already have way too many Colossi toys and figures and things to, just like, it's the only, I've never bought statues, but Colossus is the only one I ever bought of those. He's like a major weak point for me. So I bought the Colossus.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And then I went and bought Warlock whole and was like, I'm done. I'm out. No more.
Yeah, you got to be careful. And, the other good thing is I'm very, very happy that Mondo shit sells out all the fucking time. Because otherwise I would hurt myself. It would be bad.
And just for the record, they can continue to make Deadpool movies as long as they want, as long as they keep getting Colossus right.
Yeah, it's funny that's where Colossus is right.
Yeah.
I will. I know Deadpool is the star of those films, but I just wait for my metal guy to come on, and then I just get all happy.
Although I have to admit the Juggernaut theme from Deadpool 2 is probably one of the most amazing things I've ever heard.
And I was the only person in the theater when I saw it that caught what the music was, because everybody was looking instead of listening.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was so happy.
It's a pretty good director's cut too.
Oh yeah.
It's again, like all director's cuts, not necessary, but you get more Negasonic and her girlfriend, and they're fun.
Yep.
And there's at least one addition that they add to the end credits, with that little like montage of Deadpool going through time and doing stuff.
Yeah.
That you know why they cut it, because he's not fixing his stuff. It's just a little side thing. But you're like, good on you for trying that and realizing it didn't work. Good job.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't need it, but hooray for trying.
But yeah, it's so funny. Like, I think once a year, Mondo will do like hey, we're gonna put all the random stuff that we found that was lying around up for sale, and I never get anything in time. Like, there's a Frankenstein poster that I've seen up there like twice that I'll be like, all right, that I will get, and nope, can't get it. It's too they make too few of stuff, and you know what? Good, because I don't have the fucking money to buy all the shit that I would want to buy from them.
Yeah, they've done some really great Cornetto stuff too. The Cornetto trilogy.
Oh yeah. Oh, the posters for that are ridiculous.
But
the jock posters.
Yeah. I have the. I can't remember that. I think the company is Vinyl Idol. I kind of liked the statues they did, and I have the one for Sean and Ed, and the two from Nick Angel, and I can't remember the name of his character from Hot Fuzz, but I have those. And again, then I was like, okay, I have these four. I think the style of these figures is cool, but I'm backing off.
Yep. And I think the other one was it Waxwork that did the Thing soundtrack, or was it it may have been Mondo.
Oh yeah.
No, it was Waxwork. It's the one that basically the basically the slipcase opens, it cuts in half like the dude's chest when they're doing the autopsy, except it's ice, and that's how you open it. I'll put, if they ever make it available again, God damn it, I'm not going to be able to stop myself, because it's the fucking thing, and what can you do? And so there you go. And for the record, the Mondo Thing game is pretty damn good. Again, I couldn't resist that either. What can I do?
Oh, that's gorgeous. You're right. That is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, but you see how that opens? It's just,
yeah.
And there was, and I'm almost positive that this was like on a pressing of the soundtrack. If you put, Rob, what do you call the area like right by the label that won't play unless you?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know if there's a technical term for it. It's just like it's like the unused wax part of it. Like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they basically put a hidden track there that was something from like an unused audio from a trailer or something, and it was basically a radio broadcast where they're saying, this is Outpost 31. Is anyone there? Is anyone copy? We found something in the ice, and that's all.
Oh.
I I found that so long ago. I still have the MP3 of it somewhere, but I'm fairly certain that's where it was. But so good.
I believe the technical term for that is called a stamper.
There you go.
I still stupidly I still stupidly have anger against John Carpenter and his soundtracks because of the soundtrack for the movie Ghosts of Mars.
Okay, can I just say, let me just pause you for a second there and say, there are so many reasons to be upset with John Carpenter for Ghosts of Mars, but please go on.
No, I went to go see that movie because I'm hit and miss with Carpenter anyway. He'll do like one that's great and then a couple that are not great, and a couple that are objectively bad but kind of fun, like They Live. But I don't think that you had the title of that right. I don't remember. But with Ghosts of Mars, it was a big deal that he hired Anthrax to do the score. And I'm a huge Anthrax fan. And I went to this movie expecting an Anthrax score, and it was the same usual fucking John Carpenter keyboard score in the back, way in the background. You could just kind of hear kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, man.
He needs to realize that he's not a musician.
Yeah, he's not. And he's not even Vangelis.
I mean, I actually like his scores for what they are. Now, when you get into, and I like the terribleness of the theme song he did for Big Trouble in Little China. Fucking horrible. But I also appreciate that when he got Morricone to do the soundtrack for The Thing, it sounds like a John Carpenter score, but done 110% correctly. It's amazing. If you did not know it was Morricone, you would think it was Carpenter. But it's so good.
But how cool would a Ghost of Mars been if it would have had a thrash metal soundtrack?
That might have made it palatable, but you have to understand, John Carpenter was kidnapped by aliens and replaced by a duplicate halfway through In the Mouth of Madness, which is why that's the last film that's actually watchable that he's done.
I love that.
And that's only because it's like Sam Neill and crazy Stephen King meets Lovecraft shit.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. When I say the movie would be infinitely better if it had the Anthrax soundtrack, I mean infinitely better means it's a 0.5 out of 5 as opposed
I got you.
as opposed to a negative.
I totally got you. But yeah,
I mean, even that horrible Christopher Lambert Beowulf movie was made better by the song.
Ouch.
Oh wow, I hadn't thought about that in a long fucking time.
Yeah, there's a reason for
it had
that.
a really good Anthrax song on it.
Wow. Well, there you go, Rob. If we ever need to ensure JJ's involvement,
Yeah.
just need Anthrax.
Yeah, that is pretty much a guaranteed. Anthrax or the band King's X, and I'm in.
Oh God, I haven't thought about King's X in forever.
I
They're
know.
in the studio right now. I'm so excited.
What did you say about it?
They're in the studio right now.
Oh, they are, really?
Really?
Yeah. I follow them on. I follow Doug Pennick on Instagram, and they've been in the studio for about 3 or 4 days.
Oh, and they just had a authorized biography come out.
Oh,
Yeah.
no! I need to find that and read it.
Rob, you probably have it and have already read it.
No, I do not, actually.
No, there you go.
Although I have a feeling me reading that book would be like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah. I've been following that band since the first
Track down the editor. Oh, no, that is incorrect.
time. Excuse me, you spelled the name down incorrectly.
There's an apostrophe in King's X.
Yeah.
No, they do not sound like Jesus Jones.
Yeah, Faith, Hope, Love. I haven't listened to that in a while. That's my favorite of theirs.
I have not heard that thing in a year. Oh my God.
I know, right? So
Where the hell is my copy of that?
I've got it on LP. I've got it. I don't have it on cassette anymore because I got rid of all my cassettes, but I do have it digitally and all on CD. So, what you want? I got the hookup for you, man.
No, now see, when did you do this for us? Late at night, I won't be able to sleep now until I know where it is. Thanks.
I just know that when I was very, so I had really, really bad insomnia when I was a kid, and so when I was growing up in Jackson, so I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi, and then there was a hard rock station that you could sometimes pick up on AM in the middle of the night. And so one night when I couldn't sleep, they played the song Goldilocks, which is off their second, and I was hooked ever since.
You know what you should do, and you'll feel better too doing it. You know how Tuffley puts out like a monthly Spotify thing, and I put out one for the radio thing, and Widge does. You should do and post it to the Need Coffee social media thing. You should do just a general Spotify metal playlist every month.
Maybe once I get my shit together, I can see how that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't mean like now, but you should.
Right.
No, he's demanding you start right the second.
Well, no, I mean, it'd be a way for one. It'd be one, it's the healing power of music, and two, I would hear something that is completely nothing I would ever hear, because everyone I know who listens to metal is basically an idiot. So,
well, and one of the interesting things about growing up in Mississippi was the fact that we got a lot of bands would come through, but they would come through after they were popular. So we heard of everything like 3 years too late. But it does mean that we heard a lot of bands that were kind of on their way out, or sometimes you would hear bands that were just like you would think were gonna break, like I don't know, a band like, let's say, Brittany Fox, that never went anywhere.
Yeah. Well, clearly you've never been here. Because Kicks will sell out here. I mean,
Well, I was going to say, to be fair, JJ, Mississippi is behind the times in more ways than just metal.
Yeah, I will be there actually right before Dragon Con.
Oh. Yeah. I actually am thinking, not this year, but next year, I might actually be able to go back to Dragon Con.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do the Clarksdale trip, I think.
I have been to Clarksdale, but I never made it there.
So if I act really weird that week, weirder that weekend. Yeah.
Or just infinitely better at guitar.
No, that's never going to happen. I am content with the fact that I am not musical, and I'm okay with it.
It depends on what you have to sell.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
You're going to Clarksdale.
John, you just gave me a great idea.
Go. What's that?
Rox and I should start a band.
Rox and you should start a band?
Yeah.
Of brothers or?
No. No, we'll just get, a bunch of found music equipment together and just see what happens.
Do you know how to play anything?
No, it'll be great. It's perfect for today.
Okay.
Yeah, when has that ever stopped anybody?
Yeah. So just do jug band covers of Faith No More tracks.
Oh my God.
Does that? The thing is, I'm afraid to ask. Does that exist?
Needs to now.
It should.
So probably not.
Needs to now.
Yeah. Well, I'm still mad about the funding for the Lomax project is coming to an end. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's the sort of thing that they should try and crowdfund that shit.
Yeah, I think they'll figure out something. Somebody will move the money around. They will. So, since he's on the podcast, we can ask him. And Tuffley's not here. So, next year for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, do you put in Maiden and Judas Priest? Because they're two of the front runners right now.
I mean, Yeah, but I think you got to put Motorhead in there first.
See, that's what I would think, but yeah.
Especially now that we've lost Lemmy, I kind of think. I mean, he's been gone for 3 years now, but
Yeah.
I think in order to move into hard rock, I think you'd really be doing a disservice to not have Motorhead in there before a lot of these other bands.
Yeah, I think so. But they've already put a couple harder ones in without him, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, Metallica was a shoe-in. I mean, you can't keep them out of anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, it's one of those things where, as has been discussed multiple times, sometimes the later bands get in before the
Yes.
pioneers,
Yeah.
just because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But
you know,
I
eventually catch up.
yeah, I think you would be remiss to leave either of those guys out. I mean, both Maiden and Priest certainly. I mean, shit, they're both playing here in the next couple of months.
Yeah. Oh, I think since I talked to you last, I saw Slayer.
Ooh,
That's
not going to happen much more.
No, that was pretty amazing.
They are the only band of the big four I never got to see.
They were. I totally should have told you about that. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it was incredible.
Well, I am thinking we should probably mosey towards recommendations since it's getting to be that time. So, that being said, who wants to go first?
There aren't that many of us. I can say that, again, as I talked about earlier, I've been going through some weird mental shit, so my attention span has been real bad. I want to read more. I even bought a book that I very, very much want to read right now, and it's been sitting next to my bed for like a month. But in that, I will say, on Netflix, there's a fun food competition show called The Final Table. If you can keep that Europe song out of your head, it's an interesting little diversion. It's filmed prettily. And I've gotten into a couple of podcasts that I'm really enjoying. One of them being Force Center, talking about a positive look at Star Wars-y stuff. In fact, if you've been to Dragon Con, you've probably seen Joseph Scrimshaw somewhere. He is one of the 3 people on that series. And although I have met him, I never realized he was a very good. He has a very good mind for analyzing literature and stuff, and so I find it very interesting to hear him talk about things that he enjoys. And he knows a lot about Star Wars.
And he's a very funny bastard.
He is a very funny bastard. In fact, even his other podcast, Obsessed, is fun because it's talking to people about things that they love, and so that's cool. And other than that, everything else I've been ingesting is like really stupid short form YouTube stuff because it's just trying to keep my brain quiet. So that's all I really have. Enjoy.
I feel your pain, brother. I can't keep my brain quiet.
So hard.
I know it's a pain in the ass. All right, Rob, what have you got?
So, in an effort to that thing going on with your brain that you guys were talking about a second ago, right?
Yeah.
My way of compensating with that is to get into something completely different. So I give you No Geography, the new record from the Chemical Brothers, mainly because when my brain is just wired weirdly and off that way, that somehow seems to fix it. And yes, there are certain parts of the songs that do all sound alike, but it's loud and it's visceral, and that's okay. So yes. Yeah, and so I do want to recommend No Geography, the new record from Chemical Brothers. Also, the new music, taking it to the other end of the spectrum, The National have a great new depressing album out called I Am Easy to Find. It's The National they make a lot of really great records about songs that don't end well.
Din was asking me for recommendations. I said, "Oh, the National, you're in the perfect headspace for it." So, if you want to, if you want to hear songs that have interesting melodies and stories and are rhythmically interesting, that are dark but aren't too dark that you want that that you're listening to like Joy Division, the National are pretty good. So I recommend them completely. And then I'm going to recommend out on Blu-ray now. They did something a little bit for Record Store Day, but to show you what an amazingly weird experience this is. So Wax Trax Records was a label, and there's a documentary of them called Industrial Accident. It's the whole history of Wax Trax Records, which is a fascinating history of like just all these bands and the people in them, and it's just bonkers, but it's also really interesting and compelling. But they managed to get Ministry to do a set of like the non-Ministry, like the early synth shit.
Wow.
Which, and if you go online, there's like Al Jorgensen is now doing Every Day is Halloween acoustic. It sounds
Holy shit.
It sounds really creepy as an acoustic song. It's almost like when Marilyn Manson slowed down "Sweet Dreams Are Made of This." It's kind of in that kind of vein, but like, yeah, he's doing an acoustic version of Every Day is Halloween. And what's interesting with it is they left the bop 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 stuff in too. It's just kind of like, if they performed Glee in hell, that's what it would probably sound like. But yeah, so it's a documentary. It's on Blu-ray. It's called Industrial Accident, and it is pretty awesome. So there you are.
Nice.
I may have asked you this already, Rob, and I apologize, but I do this so rarely that I can't remember.
No, you're totally fine, dude.
Have you ever listened to a band called The Regrets?
A little bit.
I've grown to really like them.
Do they have more than one record? I think I heard one record.
They have an album and an EP, and now they're putting out tracks on YouTube kind of periodically.
Okay.
I think as they're working out to something. But yeah, they just played Coachella, and they're doing some other stuff. But yeah, so if I haven't mentioned it before, they are kind of like a mix of pop with like some 60s girl group thrown in there, but also with like kind of a punk sensibility.
Okay.
So it's melodic pop that's kind of a little thrashy at times.
Oh, that's okay.
And they're kind of they're all like 17, and their stuff's kind of like politically, not all their stuff, but some of their stuff's kind of politically bent. Like they did this song called Poor Boy during the Kavanaugh hearings that's all about the Me Too movement and stuff. So there's some good stuff in there. So yeah, just if you're looking for some toe tappy stuff, I
will.
Them.
Yeah, and I'll look for that. And if I don't get back to you about it in like a week, remind me of it.
Okay, and it's Regrets like it would be a 60s band, so it's ETTES.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I literally am just to the point where there's just so much stuff thrown at me that my brain. Some days I just throw my hands up and I'm like, I'm done. I'm listening to the Beatles.
That's also always a good choice.
Yes. Yeah, because I got that White Album thing that came out, that monstrosity of like all the White Album stuff.
Ooh.
And I made the mistake of doing it all in one sitting, and my brain is still not functioning correctly. But it's pretty amazing. So yeah, feel free to throw stuff at me, because I am more likely now to listen to stuff that people recommend than stuff I get sent, just because it's just so much obnoxious, insane stuff.
Cool. So, yeah, I can just I'll throw a video or something on your thing. On your Facebook page. Yeah, I think I did that to Widge once, but for some reason it didn't show up.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
I put it on your page, which is funny because some people I know clicked like on it, but I looked at your page and it wasn't there, so I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, I just I just found out there's a new Perry Farrell record like this week.
Oh, cool. I guess.
And I don't know whether that's I don't know whether I like that or don't.
I mean, good for him for getting work, but
I don't know if I like it. I still don't know if I like it or not. Yeah. I know I would like it to, but yeah. Oh, the other thing too is I wanted to tell Widge this. I'm afraid to though, because I think he might explode. I don't know the date yet, but Fishbone's doing an entire tour where they're playing all of Truth and Soul in its entirety.
Hey. Okay. I'm
Yes.
on it. Fuck yeah.
I don't think it's like in the next couple months. I think it's like later in the year.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So done. Ding.
All right, cool. Thanks, Rob. All right, John, what have you got?
All right, I'm just going to recommend a couple of series. One would be Killing Eve. If you haven't been watching it, it's a really sort of insane.
I need
show.
to see that.
It's really good. It's really I really enjoy it. It's both Sandra Oh and I should know the other actress's name, but they both do excellent jobs.
I
It's
need
really,
to see that.
really fun and sometimes weird show. So
Yeah.
it started second season. There are 3 episodes in, I believe. You can catch it on BBC and Hulu and no AMC. AMC. It's a BBC show, but it's on AMC.
Yeah, it's on BBC America, and I think it's on AMC too, right?
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, because AMC owns. Yeah.
Did they? Does AMC own BBC?
It's all. They're all owned by the Discovery Channel. Yeah, they're all. There's some weird the way all these stations are connected is really annoying. So channels. Sorry.
All of it's owned by Disney.
Yeah.
Capitalism, folks.
Yep. It works if you're at the top.
Well said.
Funny because it's true.
That's right, comrades.
Other,
So one thing I know, it's communist.
the other series I'm recommending is on Netflix, which is called Huge in France.
Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah.
Stars Gad, and don't know how to pronounce his name because he just calls himself Gad anyway. But he's a huge comedian. He's in real life a huge comedian in France. In fact, and it's a running joke in the series, but France calls them the Seinfeld of France. He's hugely popular. But it's a story about him coming over to America. It's not a story. The show is about this, and it's completely made up. But it's in the vein of Larry David.
Okay.
What do you call it?
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah. Although it's not, it's a scripted. It's actually scripted as opposed to Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is sort of wild. But it's got that really dark humor that it's in this case it's a little more serious at times, but it's more of it's not a you're constantly laughing out loud type thing. It's more of a wow, I should not really laugh at this kind of what they're doing right now. But he comes over to the United States to try to make amends with his son, who he had with an American woman, and he's like 17 or whatever. But basically, there is nobody to like in the show. Everybody is a horrible human being, in one way or another. But yet, I find it incredibly engaging. So it's on Netflix. Huge in France, and the joke is made constantly that nobody here in the United States knows him because he's not huge in the United States. Nobody knows other other nationalities don't matter if you're not in the United States. So that's what I would do. I would say you can't really get it on Amazon, but I did get a bunch of computer parts to build my latest machine from Amazon. And I did that by going to needcoffee.com/Amazon/John needs computer parts that are good quality, but inexpensive. And I bet I can get them in a day or so, and then I can put this thing together. .com.
Well, yes, John is exactly right when he says that if you go to needcoffee.com/Amazon, you will wind up on the front page of Amazon, where if you buy things from Amazon, we get kickbacks, which we appreciate. So my recommendations, I will recommend Laughing Man Coffee, which Rob was nice enough to bring me some of from New York. It is Hugh Jackman's coffee company. If you have a Keurig, then you're in luck because you can get all manner of K-cups of their stuff off of Amazon, but they are getting some beans on there. Really good stuff. Also, I will recommend the Criterion Channel, which I got on early with.
You bastard.
And basically it's they need more commentaries and stuff, but it's a ton of Criterion content streaming, and they also have a bit where they will, like, for example, they'll ask Guillermo del Toro, who is talking to Adam Savage, tell me about your Criterion picks and why you like them. And so there's one with him, and I know there's one with like Julie Taymor. So they've got interesting ways of presenting their stuff, and I'm currently working through the Hard Day's Night features that I didn't watch on the Blu-ray. So, but I recommend it. I love Criterion stuff.
It's really good. It's really
good stuff. So anyway, yes, those are my recommendations. And so, yeah, that brings us to the end of another episode of Weekend Justice. And as is usual, when we reach this moment and we are kind of just sort of overwhelmed by what we've managed to survive, I think we just take a moment to look at the smoking crater of time around us and simply say, flat packed.
Flat packed?
You heard
Yep.
him.
I heard him.
I said it.
He said it.
Now what happens?
Oh,
I heard him.
Flatback.
Oh, I forgot to also recommend Shazam. It's a
I
good
want to
film.
see that. I haven't yet.
Oh, it's so fun.
It is a lot of fun.
I saw the other
funny.
Captain Marvel movie, but not that one.
It's
Yeah.
so fun in all the ways Hellboy wasn't.
Hellboy? I'm sorry.
It was free, but it was still terrible.
So the Criterion thing is the Criterion channel. You said it's a streaming service.
Yes.
Yes.
Do they have everything, or is it just a selection?
Right now it's a selection. I know that they're working on trying to add as much stuff as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, like some of the stuff's on Canopy and some of it's on a few other places. I think they're trying to consolidate it all into one place.
Because there was this one great Criterion release that got away from me, and it sold out. But they came out with this like drive-in set where it was like 4 or 5 movies. So it was also just more money I had at the time. But it's
Right.
the only time I'm aware of that the monkey movie Head got released on Blu-ray, and I wants it.
Let me look into this for you.
And if it was streaming, in like high quality, I might pay for it just to watch the movie.
Well, the thing that's going to help you is that there's been a somewhat small but growing resurgence in the monkeys. Like the reruns are back on a lot of TV stuff now, and that like they put out a Christmas record,
Right.
and it did better, I think, than people thought. So I think I think that might end up getting reissued. I would bet on it.
I mean, I know that there are people in this call that may have met a certain monkey that I have not met, and were less than thrilled with him, which is why I'm glad I haven't met him.
Okay.
Arthur from The Tick.
Oh yeah.
I've inferred from listening to you guys talk, never directly, that Mr. Dolan's might have been less than pleasant. But he was still a hero of mine since I was knee-high to a grasshopper.
That's one of them there country sayings.
Yeah, I grew up in Mississippi.
I wasn't overwhelmed with Davey either, but that's okay.
Davey was not my favorite. I was the Mike Nesmith guy. I still am the Mike Nesmith guy.
Mike and Peter, the couple different times I met the monkeys in chunks, like because I met Nesmith last, and the other ones I met before. But yeah, I mean, Mickey's kind of Mickey,
right? But I'd still, if I came across him or any of the two that are still here, I would. I would. Well, I actually went to Disneyland recently and got to hug Chewbacca, and it was one of the happiest moments of my life. And I was just about to say I would Chewbacca hug them, but I realized you guys wouldn't know what I meant.
I would know what you meant. They just did a tour actually with Nesmith and Dolan's, and it wasn't bad. The two of them, it wasn't really terrible.
Oh, I mean, if Mike Nesmith is involved, it's going to be better. His solo records, if just throwing it out there to the people that might be listening, his solo records are fucking amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
No, they are. They're really good.
Oh yeah.
He's probably the only one in the Monkees that could sell out a small venue just on his own.
For a little while, I know that Torque was playing with a band called Blue
Shoes or something.
It wasn't Blue Suede Shoes. It was like
it was Blue Shoes or Blue. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it was some play on Blue Suede Shoes. But yeah,
his blues band. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were, from what I understand, they were doing pretty well, but they never came anywhere near Oregon. So
yeah, which is kind of sucky. But
yeah, you know those Greenwich Village types. They just never leave Greenwich Village. Curse you, Doctor Strange. Music and comics are always good for it.
Live, and that was said. So now I'm reading into that as well.
I absolutely did not hear what you said, so sure.
Oh, I said Rob was suspiciously quiet when you cursed Doctor Strange, so I'm reading into that as well.
Oh.
But you missed the fact that he has seen Endgame, so.
Oh, he has. Oh,
yes.
I hear the 20 minutes with Mr. Bean is really off.
Bring your Pampers.
Yeah, 3.5 hours, man. I can't wait.
Well, you don't want to miss the first 3 minutes.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, don't tell me anything else.
I can't.
That's when they show the Marvel intro logo thingy. You don't want to miss that.
Well, the thing is, it's like I told Widge this today. Is everything that you think it's gonna be, in terms of just being like a spectacle and amazing and cool, but then it's totally not the movie you were expecting, but it's totally okay. And I know that makes no sense, but it's,
if there's anybody that would make sense about, it's the Russo brothers.
Right.
No, I mean, it is there's all this hype around it and everything. It is every bit as worth it as the hype and everything they put around it. But they do some really interesting things with some stuff. So, yeah.
I mean, you're not saying anything that was not already my suspicion. Because the thing is, yes, I absolutely don't want to miss the first 3 minutes. Or the next 3 minutes. Yeah. Or the next 3 minutes ad infinitum.
Yeah.
Yep. That about sums it up.
I'm planning on showing up in a Clockwork Orange rig and just like having eye drops pumped into my eyes.
Yeah. You can pee at the end of the credits though, because there's no end credits after credit scenes.
It's the end of that era, so why not?
Yeah.
And actually, I should make it more Marvel appropriate. I'm not going in a Clockwork Orange gig. I'm going in a Mojo rig.
There you go.
Like Mojo Nixon rig, or just
Mojo from the comics. It's based on Clockwork Orange.
God, it is late. Okay, sorry.
Although a Mojo Nixon just means I'd put my hair in a pompadour and like shave my beard into sideburns.
Could you imagine them putting Mojo Nixon in the MCU? I would love that.
As long as there was an image of Elvis somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Charles Bradley's in the MCU, so you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yes, you're right.
And in Endgame, you never know. We might get yet another member of Community like squished in there somewhere. Speaking of which, I will say. Wait, what?
I'm reading into that as well.
No, don't.
I will say though, I did love seeing Lando. Jesus, my names are just not
Billy
there.
D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams in the costume that he wore in Solo. That made me very happy that they're kind of bridging it that way.
Yes. I never thought I'd be so excited to see Lando Calrissian in a movie. Like, oh, Lando, this is going to be cool. I mean, Lando got a really big pop in that trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm a little surprised by, but yeah. I love it. Oh, go ahead.
I saw Billy D. Williams walking into a Whole Foods once, and I popped.
Yeah.
But did you see him buy? See, I would be so happy if I saw him buying like a Colt 45.
He was just in the parking lot, and I went with that unwritten law in LA where you don't bother people when it goes for shopping. So I didn't bother him, but yeah, that parking lot I used to like to just hang out in because you're like, oh look, it's Mr. T. Oh wow, it's Lando.
Yeah.
And
I met Mr. T at Denny's when I was like 15, and he had his own briefcase, and people were coming up and talking to him, and he opened up his briefcase, and he had pre-signed pictures that said, "You've met me, Mr. T," and hands them to the kids, and then you go eat.
Oh, that's delightful. I will say the weirdest celebrity like that was just when I was literally looking at a display of tomatoes, and all of a sudden I felt the room go cold. I was like, everything about this room has been sucked into one spot, and I turned behind me, and it was Sam Jackson.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Although I met him before, but I met him before he was Sam Jackson because I met him when he was filming Time to Kill in Mississippi.
Oh wow.
He came into the vegetarian restaurant I worked at.
Nice.
The vegetarian restaurant that is in Mississippi.
They had I have a friend of mine who did some screenwriting and stuff in LA, and he has this great story about when he met Patrick McGowan in a grocery store parking lot, and this woman was leaving, and Patrick McGowan's like, "Oh, can I help you carry your bags?" And he's helping her, and then the woman's kids come out, and he just had this like look of sheer disdain that like, "Oh God, children." And he just thought that was hilarious. He's like, Patrick McGowan did not suffer fools lightly at all, but apparently he was like painfully a gentleman. And it was just so against his character that he thought that was interesting. So
this is probably the longest coda we've ever had.
Thinking.
Yeah. And I saw Jim Backus at a train station once when I was very young. And all my dad said is, "That's Mr. Magoo." So, yeah. Not very exciting. Although we did see, which I did tell you, we saw Sterling Brown at Walgreens, right? I think I told you.
You did.
The guy's awesome. He's just so nice.
I recently saw Glenn Danzig at a Safeway.
Oh, he's got a new record coming out.
He was on tour here a couple months ago, and he's every bit as short as you expect.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell him that though.
Oh, come on. Have you ever seen the video where he gets punched like once and goes down? Come on.
I have, but there's just some people I just don't want to mess with.
I admire him though. I'm a big Misfits fan, so.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to try and get him to autograph a copy of Glenn was it Glenn Loves Henry or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Because he does not find that funny, although Rollins does.
But it is so funny.
Well, on the back of the book, though, there's a quote from Danzig. He says, "Has Henry seen this yet?" or something. I think that's the credit on the back of it.
No, I think it's the other way around. I think it's.
Oh, okay.
I think it's something to the effect of Henry Rollins going, "Ha ha, yeah, oh God, has Glenn seen this yet?"
Yeah. They did a second one of those too. I haven't read it yet, but they did a second one of those.
Oh, awesome! I got to find that.
Yeah. God, that's still funny. So there you are.
There you have it. All right, I gotta go pee.
What am I folding again?
What are you what?
What am I folding again?
What are you folding?
I don't know. Hey, bathroom break.
Yeah. Bring your pen.
We are now at recording time over here, 3 hours and 2 minutes. We have done an Avengers Endgame.
Yeah. Just make sure to bring your pens with you.
I've used it for this podcast.
Yeah. Great.
I'm just gonna bring an empty cup. Whatever.
Great.
Oh God. All right.
Good night.
Portland.
All right,
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.